podcast doesn't exist. Episode 54, May the 4th. Be with you. Boom. Play the sound, Jack. Let's go. The Phillies. They fired their manager, man. It's changed everything in Philadelphia. See ya. More teams got to start trying that. They fired their manager. The Phillies fired their manager. The Red Sox fired their manager, but things got worse. And apparently they're cheating in Red Sox territory too. Another cheating allegation. How does this keep happening every week? The Reds and Sal Stewart, they get into another beef. Sal Stewart, that's his second beef of the year if you're keeping track. Second beef of his career. He's only been around for like a month. 2 beefs already. Respect it. Shohei Ohtani, he's in a slump. Not doing well. Also, he is the best player in baseball, so it's a toss-up. Is Shohei Ohtani washed, or is he the best player in baseball? Mitchell, give me your opinion in 2 seconds.
Best player in baseball.
Wow.
Pitching's carrying.
That was 3 seconds.
I think I just lost my job.
Dude, if I had the bomb play, I'd already played 3 bombs, but I lost the soundboard. One of the best players in baseball is now hurt. That sucks. And a team without a city or a positive run differential is in first place somehow. What the hell? There's a 51-inch hot dog. They're selling 51-inch hot dogs now, apparently. Spaghetti is getting eaten at stadiums. Spaghetti in bags. That's going on. There's a groundhog throwing out the first pitch at a game. And the Atlanta Braves, once again, the best team in baseball. First place for the Atlanta Braves. Best record in MLB. Best run differential in MLB. First in batting average. First in runs. First in slugging. And first in OPS. That's the Atlanta Braves. So far, so good for the Atlanta Braves. They just beat the Tigers 2 out of 3. Then the Rockies swept them. They go 5-1 this week. So they face Skubal on Tuesday or Wednesday. Who cares? 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs for Skubal. Does pretty well. Matt Olson, walk-off home run. That's a comeback win. Another comeback win later this week on Friday against the Rockies, dude. So they gave up like 6 runs against the Rockies first inning. Grant Holmes has a bad first inning. What are you going to do? In Rockies, Coors Field, down 6-0, explode for fucking, sorry for cursing, 7 runs in the last 3 innings. So they screw the Rockies over, sweep them in their own place. They've won 15 of 18 games, the hot Atlanta Braves. 4th best offense in baseball this week by runs. They had 10 home runs this week and a freaking .520 slugging percentage. Matt Olson has 3 home runs this week. 1,271 OPS. 5th best hitter in baseball this year. He hasn't had an OPS over 900 since 2023. And that is a theme for this team. Now, if you remember, the Atlanta Braves were the best offense in baseball history, according to slugging percentage, in 2023. Last year, they were not good at hitting. I don't know where they ended up last year in the rankings. Maybe Mitchell could find it, or maybe I'll race him to find out what the Braves ranked in OPS last year as a team.
Oh, it's close.
They ranked 13th in OPS.
I can't hear you.
They ranked 13th in OPS last year at 720.
13th. So they were the best in 2023. 2024, a lot of injuries, if you remember, they sucked. And then 2025, they were kind of back healthy again and sucked again. Now they're back in 2026 with pretty much the same lineup, and all of a sudden the guys are good again. That is the theme of this team. Ozzie Albies, for example, he's batting .429 with the .857 slugging percentage at 1,300 OPS. That's just this week. This year he's got a .932 OPS. He hasn't had OPS above 800 since 2023. Michael Harris has a .911 OPS, hasn't had an OPS above 800 since 2023. Drake Baldwin wasn't even alive in 2023. But he's on the team now. He's got a .913 OPS as a catcher. That's fucking Cal Raleigh type shit. Okay?
He's played every game, too.
Durable. He's a young, durable catcher who has done nothing but been a beast since coming up to the Major League Baseball. 2nd best ERA in baseball for the Atlanta Braves. Here's another crazy guy who sucked ass except for 2023. Bryce Elder had a 5.59 ERA over the past 2 seasons. Worst in MLB. Minimum 200 innings, negative 1.1 BWAR the past 2 seasons. This year, 1.88 ERA, 6th best in MLB, with a 1.05 whip for Bryce Elder, who was an all-star in 2023, sucked for 2024 and 2025, and now is good again. So what changed, Mitchell? I'll tell you what changed. The manager changed is probably the biggest thing. the vibe shift with Walt Weiss coming in, that's a guy who will beat your ass. He's already shown it once with a tackle on the field. That's really the only thing I can point to.
I mean, yeah. Since I wish I had pulled it up, but since Walt Weiss tackled Jorge Soler, I feel like the Braves have lost 4 games total.
That's how you feel? The numbers guy is just going by feelings now?
Yeah. Do you have the date that he tackled him? Was it like the 7th?
May the 4th, bro. I already said it.
I think he got tackled on April 7th.
May the 4th be with you. Either way, it goes along with the theme of MLB right now. The Braves sucked ass for 2 years with their old manager, who wasn't a bad manager. I don't want to besmirch Brian Snitker, who got us a World Series in 2021. But last 2 years, not so good. They were calling him Sleepy Snitker. Now you get it with a young 60-year-old instead of a 72-year-old who can tackle guys and is maybe on some peptides, on some tea. Now that regalvanizes the dugout. They're looking good. Now you look across the league, some other teams made some managerial changes. Let's see how that works out. Before we get to that, we got to cover Ronald Acuna, though, because it's not all good. Ronald Acuna comes up limping. Hurts his hamstring. Ronald Acuna is on the IL. It's a grade 1. That means he's going to avoid serious IL time. So according to what I've read, it's the best case scenario for a hamstring.
When he ran out of the box, I thought he tore his hamstring.
Yes. That's another thing with Acuna, and I remember this is like an old foolish baseball tweet that is so true. That's like Acuna will go down, and you'll think this guy is out for the next 2 years. He'll go down with an injury, and the guy is very animated, and then just come back the next day and hit a leadoff home run. But the guy gets hurt more than fucking anyone, and it is a question of, is it becoming a problem in terms of Ronald Acuna and the injuries? We track down all the injuries, and it's a deep injury history right now. Acuna is 28. This is what year? 7th year in MLB, 8th year in MLB. Came up in 2018. Ninth year in MLB. So he's an old 28. He's 28, but he's been around for a long time. 2018, he missed 28 games with a knee injury. 2019, that was really his real breakout year. Only missed 4 games with an injury. So that year, he was completely healthy in 2019, led the league in steals, all-star, 5th in MVP voting at 21 years old. That was his first full healthy season. 2020, shortened season, but he missed 14 games. So he missed 23% of the season that year with a wrist and hamstring injury. 2021 got off to a hot start, but tears his ACL, misses 73 games. So in 2022, he misses the first 20 games of the season with that ACL. Then also has a minor groin injury, quad injury, foot injury, knee and back injuries throughout that year. That was the worst year of his career in 2022, where he really wasn't right. Didn't look like he trusted his knee. Had a 112 OPS plus, only 15 homers for Acuna. Then came back in 2023. That's his second healthy season. And that was one of the best seasons we've ever seen, ever. This is a 40-70 season. Goes 40-40, leads the league in steals, 70 steals, on-base percentage, leads the league in on-base percentage, leads the league in OPS, and wins the MVP in 2023. That was his no injuries year. So the 2 no injury years, amazing years. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say that, but Acuna's 2019. I'm sure there's been guys at 21 years old. I mean, I'm sure Juan Soto's age 21 was better than that, but it's up there with one of the best young seasons we've seen in recent times. Tears ACL again in 2024, misses 112 regular season games. 2025 misses the first 49 games of the season, misses another 15 games later on with an Achilles injuries. And that, if you're keeping track, is 2 ACL tears on the career, left knee and a right knee, a wrist injury, hamstring, quad, foot, back, and another hamstring injury again. So the guy has been hurt all over his body. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. That's actually Jack's joke when we were talking about Chris Bryant back in the day. And it was so funny. I remember it over a year later, Jack. Amazingly done. So Acuna, at age 28, he's played 851 games. So he's missed about 377 games due to injuries in his career. About 30% of his career so far has been missed due to injuries. Despite that, still has 5 All-Stars, 3 Silver Sluggers, an MVP, 188 home runs with 212 steals. So we're not saying Acuna sucks. We are saying he gets injured a lot. Also, a little digging here on the StatCast numbers, bat speed since 2023 is down 1.8 miles per hour for Acuna. So maybe that means that the injuries are lining up. Now, I don't really follow bat speed. It's kind of a new stat. I don't even know if that's that bad. 1.8 miles per hour. Mitchell, would you have a take on that?
I mean, his bat speed currently is still really good. 75.5 miles an hour, I think, would still be in the 85th, 90th percentile. But do you have a 1.8? 1.8 mile an hour bat decrease is pretty substantial.
Yes. And that's early on in the season. I don't really know, but that's something maybe it's because he gets hurt all the time. His home to first is way down, or way up. 10th of a second slower to first base in 2026 than it was in 2023. And his sprint speed in 2021 was 29.4 feet per second. Now it is 26.8 feet per second. That is a decrease of 2.6 feet per second. He's got caught stealing 4 times this year. He leads the league in caught stealing. So not the fast, speedy guy of old. And that is the question: is the injury starting to worry you?
I think they always have, to be honest. Since his ACL tear in 2021, he's gotten comparisons to Eric Davis, who was a kind of a big star for the Reds in the late 80s, early 2000s. And Eric Davis might have been the most dynamic player in baseball in that span, but he never had a healthy season. The most games Davis ever played was 135. Acuna has, like you mentioned, played full seasons before, but he's only played more than 119 games twice now, 2023 and 2019. He's played under 100 games 5 times in his career now. So I think they've always been a concern. I think every season you go into it just hoping he can finally play a full season, and it just hasn't happened.
When he plays a full season, he goes off. I mean, he goes off in his half seasons too. He's never really had a bad season other than 2022, which was a bad season. Last year, he had a great season. He only played 95 games last year, but a fucking 163 OPS plus for Ronald Acuna Jr. But what is the best predictor of future injuries, Mitchell?
Past injuries.
Past injuries. And he has a shit ton of past injuries. Let's put your GM hat on. Would you give him an extension right now?
The Braves fan in me says absolutely, but like from a GM perspective, he plays like a $400 million player when he's able to play. But he has so much time missed. Just creating a contract that works from a player's perspective and a team perspective is really difficult.
Yeah, because if you miss 30% of your potential games from age 20 to 28, what is that? What does the metrics on that? What does it project? What percentage of games are you going to miss from 28 to 38? If you're going to sign him to a 10-year deal, someone's going to offer him a 10-year deal. I don't think it's going to be the Atlanta Braves. When is his contract up?
So his deal still has 2 team options remaining. So he has a team option for $17 million in 2027 and one in 2028.
And the Braves are going to take that because he's on the most team-friendly deal ever, still, even with the injuries.
I mean, those are no-brainers. You could Merrill Kelly for the Diamondbacks, right? He signed for $18 million. So, and he's been quite bad this year. Those are no-brainers. I think if you're the Braves and you want to keep Acuna, the best opportunity that you have is right now because of those team options. But from the same perspective, it's like, if you're the Braves, you know that Acuna is going to be worth at least $250 million. Can you offer him a deal like that? Like a team like the Dodgers, they don't really care if their player goes down because they have unlimited resources. They can pay for the potential and then they can eat the loss if those players are injured. The Braves, they have one of the higher payrolls in baseball. I don't know where they sit right now. It's top 5 though, I believe. But they don't necessarily have the resources to have a big contract.
Yeah, and
with that type of risk.
And Acuna's been asking for a contract like that for years. He keeps saying that, comes out and says, I want to be a Braves for life. I want to be a Brave for life, because he wants to kind of get out of that like extremely team-friendly deal, which I'm sure he regrets signing even with all these injuries. But it is, 9 steals last year, 95 games. He is not that 40-40 player of old. He's not going to be stealing like that anymore. His defense is
his defense has never been that good, but since 2021, I think he's been well below average. And I mean, I don't blame him. If you tear your ACL going back on a ball, it's probably going to scar you for life. Like every time you
He
go
does
back on a
run.
ball, you've got that in your head.
He is the king of the short strides out there. He runs like the pirate from Pirates of the Caribbean, you know? And that's also how Ozuna runs. Short. He does shuffle steps to get to the ball. He does look scared around the walls. He's a fragile guy, man. His body's a little fragile. We love him to death, but
Yeah, I mean, if I was in
I don't
charge
know.
of contracts, I'd still give him an extension, but that's from like a fan perspective. I want Ronald Acuna.
Well, let me ask you
on
this:
life.
he's got a 740 OPS right now this season. So early on in the season, it'd be his worst year of his career, other than 2022, obviously. So not Acuna level. He was heating up before this injury, but if he's getting a hammy right now while hitting 740, what do you expect the rest of his year to be?
I mean, to be fair though, Acuna's had some of the worst luck in baseball when it comes to expected versus actual metrics. There's a stat on Baseball Savant called homers versus expected homers, and the way Acuna's hit the ball, he's missed out on about two or three homers. And if you flip homers to outs, I mean that's a big difference. 3 homers to 3 outs this early in the season makes a huge difference on your OPS. I wasn't too concerned about how he's played so far because he's hit the ball really well. The ball just hasn't carried out of the park, and they've just gone for flyouts.
Well, my only advice to Acuna: work on some stretching, some dynamic stretching, get some rest, a lot of sleep, maybe some muscle milk,
And don't hustle.
and yeah, don't hustle when you don't need to. But also, you want to be confident. But I feel like you get all those injuries, you kind of you get a little gun shy. You get a little gun shy. But if he can hit, you can hit. I mean, our boy Chipper Jones. I always bring that up with Acuna. That guy had 6 knee surgeries throughout his career. 6 knee surgeries. But what did he do his whole career? He fucking hit. So if Acuna can fucking hit, sorry for cursing, then it's all good. But he needs to stay on the field. Speaking of guys who need to stay on the field, Spencer Strider needs to stay on the field, but he's back on the field. Spencer Strider returns, pitches 3 1/3 innings. They fucked him, though, putting him in Colorado. They fucked him, bro. And,
I can't believe they did that.
they brought him back in Colorado, gives up 3 runs, strikes out 5 in 3 1/3. So not a great start. His fastball velocity was down a mile per hour from last year, but it was already down last year. It's now at 94.6 miles per hour. I believe it used to be like 98 miles per hour. Coming back from his second Tommy John. So we'll see what we're going to get out of Strider this year. First start, not too encouraging for Strider. But again, Coors. We'll chalk it up to Coors. Luckily, the Braves are the best offense in baseball. Score 11. Jonah Heim. Thank God for Jonah Heim. Knocks in 5 runs. And he's about to get DFA'd?
So Sean Murphy's coming back during
the
this series again in Seattle. Jonah Heim's a catcher. Sean Murphy's a catcher. The Braves could carry 3 catchers, but with Harris having some quad issues and them already being down Acuna, I just can't see them dropping an outfielder.
Okay. So the Braves have scored 205 runs this season. That's the most in baseball. That's 20 more than the second most in baseball. That's also double, basically, what the Giants have had, which is hilarious. To have 100 more runs scored than another team in baseball, which is great. 25-10 right now for the Braves. That's their best start since 1882, right? 1882. Best start since they were the Boston Bean Eaters. What a name. And what is the difference, Mitchell? I already said it. It's the new manager, Walt Weiss. Speaking of new managers, the Phillies, they got a new manager. Now, let's see if this can make the difference. So far, it's made a big difference. So going into this week, the Phillies had lost 11 out of their last 12. They were 9-19, tied for the worst record in baseball. They were in last place, 10.5 games back. Okay, they went to a Flyers game on Tuesday, got booed at the Flyers game. So the Philly fans are tired of these fuckers in Philadelphia. They fire Rob Thompson, which is an interesting firing because Rob Thompson, if you look at the numbers, was the best manager in Philadelphia Phillies history. And all he's done since he's gotten there was been amazing. Has one bad month, and they can him. Okay, so this guy became the manager in 2022. The Phillies were 22-29 at that point. They were 12.5 games back. So a very tough start to the season in 2022. They fired Joe Girardi, and hired Rob Thompson, who was Girardi's bench coach. So Thompson gets fired. Immediately, they win 13 of their next 15 games. They go 65-46, get into the playoffs, go to the World Series that year. He manages 4 seasons after that, makes the playoffs all 4 seasons. Only the second time in Phillies history a manager had taken them to the playoffs 4 straight years. They won back-to-back NL East titles. That's 2025 and 2024. He had the highest winning percentage in Phillies history of any manager in history since 1900. I'm sorry, 568 winning percentage, but gets fired after going 9-19, having the worst record in baseball, and they're 10.5 games back. And as crazy as that sounds, you fire a guy who's done nothing but been amazing for you. The logic is there. I see it the same way I see the Red Sox, where the Phillies right now are they're under this pressure because their core is kind of running out. So they got Bryce Harper, who's 33, 5 more seasons left under contract. Kyle Schwarber, he's 33, 5 more years under contract. Trey Turner, he's 33, 7 more years under contract. And JT Realmuto, 35, with 3 more years under contract. So that's basically the Phillies core who they've had against their position players, all towards the end of their prime, all still great players, but all of them are signed, for 3 to 7 more years. So this is what they got, and you don't expect them to get any better at this age. So the Phillies are definitely feeling the pressure. They want to win a World Series. They know it's got to be either this year, next year, maybe the year after, but they don't really have a young core coming up behind them. I mean, it's the oldest team in baseball for sure. I don't have the numbers on that, but their only young player is Carl Crawford's son. Maybe they got, Andrew Painter. Even their other guys, their younger core below them, which is like Brandon Marsh, Bryson Stott, Brandon Marsh, and who's the other guy I'm blanking on?
Alec Bohm.
Alec Bohm, and we all know what those guys are. They're, not exactly superstars, nowhere close to the older core, which is Schwarber, Harper, Trey Turner, and Realmuto. So they don't really have any other guys coming up. So the truth is, they got to win this year. So they need to make a drastic change to win this year, and that's what they do. They fire Rob Thompson, immediately try to hire Alex Cora. This is interesting. According to Buster Only, quote, "I don't think it's a question on if Alex Cora is going to be the Phillies' next manager. I think it's a question of when." So, and then Matt Gelb from The Athletic writes that he believes the Phillies basically fired Thompson because Cora got fired.
I mean, that's what I think. I think they started having conversations, and then once they started talking to Cora, it was like, well, now we have to fire Thompson because it can't get out that we talked to Cora about a possible manager job, and then...
Why? Because that's illegal?
I feel like it would be a bad look if you're Rob Thompson and you find out that your team went behind your back and thought about firing you but didn't.
Interesting.
And then they were like, well, we've already gotten this far, so we may as well just fire Rob Thompson.
So Dom Dombrowski, who is the president of the Phillies, who was the former GM of the Red Sox when they won the World Series with Alex Cora, so him and Cora are tight. He sees Cora get fired and says, oh, my guy's free agent. We're kind of in the market for a new manager. He starts talking to Cora. Apparently they talked about it. Cora was kind of like a maybe on it. They ended up firing Rob Thompson. They keep the conversations going. Cora eventually comes to the decision not to go to the Phillies and says, I'm going to take some time off. Let's talk later. Phillies fire Rob Thompson anyway, and then they hire Don Mattingly, which is not a bad manager to take over halfway through a year. This is a guy with a ton of experience managing. Former Dodgers manager, former Marlins manager, brought the damn Marlins to the playoffs, I believe, which is saying a lot. And this is another interesting tidbit. His son is the GM of the Phillies. So it's the first general manager duo, father-son duo of all time, which is insane. Kind of a conflict of interest, but what are you going to do? And so far, it's worked out amazing. So this actually changed the whole vibe of the city. So when they fire Rob Thompson, the Phillies immediately go 3-0, beat the Giants 3 games in 2 days. The 76ers go on a tear. They win 2 in a row against the Celtics, and then the Flyers win 2 in a row. The Sixers are going to the next round. The Flyers are going to the next round. Philly goes 6-0 after Rob Thompson is fired going into Friday. So that is a 7-0 for Philadelphia after firing Rob Thompson. Rob Thompson, what the fuck, man? You were killing the whole city, making all the sports teams bad, apparently. He's the only manager in MLB history. Sorry, Don Mattingly, the guy who's replacing him. This is another nice tidbit. Don Mattingly is the only manager in MLB history who's managed teams who were at least 9.5 games back 2 years in a row and then got them to finish first place in their division. That's from Jason Stark. So Don Mattingly has a history of turning this shit around, and it is a massive vibe change. It's worked before with the Phillies. They did this shit in 2022. Team sucked, fired their manager. Then the team was amazing. So you know what? They're playing that card again. Let's see what happens. This time is running out, and it's worked out so well so far. They sweep the Giants. Back-to-back double walk-offs in the same day. 2 walk-offs in the same day. A walk-off for Alec Boehm. Maybe Boehm will get hot. Wow. And then a walk-off. Sorry, first it was Justin Crawford with a walk-off infield single, then a walk-off sacrifice fly for Alec Boehm. Won both games of a doubleheader on walk-offs. First time since 2004 Pirates. That's from Sarah Langs. A lot of tidbits with the Phillies, man. Love it. Chase Sugart. Wasn't familiar with the game. First player since 2013 to win 2 games in one day. Holy moly, what a day. Jack's looking at me like, what the hell? You went 2 games in one day. He played 2 games in one day. This guy won them both, bro.
I don't understand.
Well, they came out of the bullpen, and I don't think we have time to explain how a bullpen pitcher can get a win because I don't even know. Honestly, it's kind of complicated. But he got 2 wins in one day.
Got it. The stat win.
Yeah.
Heard.
2-0. And Kyle Schwarber, dude. Schwarber had a great week. So in the 3-game series against the Giants, this guy goes, I was just in the doubleheader, just one day. Schwarber goes 5 for 6, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 3 walks. So he hits his 300th and 50th home run that day. He did it in 1,321 games. Beats Babe Ruth. So Babe Ruth hit his 348th home run on his 1,321st game. Schwarber hit 350 in that same time span. That is the Babe Ruth of Philadelphia. I'm sure Babe Ruth was like 22 years old by the time he did it, but Kyle Schwarber, 33. What are you going to do? Schwarber had an insane. Schwarber went 0 for 8 with 8 strikeouts in a row this week. He struck out 8 times in a row this week and still ended up having a 1,195 OPS on the week. Pretty damn good for Kyle Schwarber. So they beat the Miami Marlins 2 out of 3. They go 5-1 on the week. Pitchers start doing a lot better. They came into the week with a terrible pitching staff, 29th in starters ERA. But this week they had a 2.03 ERA. Jesus Luzardo, he's turning it around. 7 innings, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, and 8 Ks against the Giants. Christopher Sanchez, 6 2/3, 2 earned runs against the Giants. And Zach Wheeler, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 8 Ks versus the Marlins. He's had a great first 2 starts. Zach Wheeler looks like he's returning to form after almost dying of a blood clot. Do the Jamaican accent, Jay.
Blood clot.
That's right.
I wanted to do it so bad. I got canceled, man. That sucks.
What got canceled?
Me, just now.
Oh, for doing Jamaican accent?
Blew it.
I think that's kosher, brother. You're from Florida, right? That's you're
I'm an island
you're
boy.
An island boy. So Justin Crawford has a great week. Bryson Stott, 7 RBIs this week, and Brandon Marsh, a 1,044. Oh, that's a funny way to say OPS. 1,044 OPS on the week for Brandon Marsh. Have yourself a week. I mean, that's kind of been the problem for the Phillies this year. I mean, the pitching has been bad, and Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper have been good, but it's the guys like Brandon Marsh, Justin Crawford, Bryson Stott who have been bad, but those guys had a great week, and the Phillies turn it around. I'm excited for the Phillies. Anything on the Phillies, Mitchell, real quick?
I think they have a really interesting next 2.5 weeks. 3, really. They have the last game against the Marlins in this 4-game series today. Then they play the A's, Rockies, Red Sox, Pirates, Reds, and then Guardians. The NL Central has been really good this year, but you're facing a first-place team that only has 18 wins. You're facing the Rockies. You're facing a team that fired the manager and hasn't recovered. And then you're facing the Guardians. Like, this could be kind of a make-or-break next 3 weeks. And since they fired Thompson, they've actually had a really nice recovery in terms of playoff odds. over the last 7 days, their playoff odds have increased 14.4%. So good stretch for the Phillies and a nice opportunity for them to kind of get back in it.
Yeah, when you fire your manager that early in the season, it's for one reason only. Usually it's like we need to create a vibe shift. We need to create a narrative where if we turn it around right now, people start believing we made this one big change and it worked eventually. It worked immediately. Now the whole season is looking up and the vibes are great and we are back. And it's worked so far, so good for the Phillies. The Red Sox, on the other hand, no. What?
I think you're going to go, speaking of firing coaches, it was there for you.
Well, that's literally what I was about to say before I interrupted myself because I got distracted. The Red Sox tried the same thing, not so freaking good. All right, so going to the week, they were 11-17, tied for the second worst record in baseball. They fire their manager, fire their hitting coach, fire the assistant hitting coach, fire the hitting strategy coach, fire the third base coach, fire the bench coach, and fire Jason Varitek. So they fire all the offensive coach because the offense suck. Then they come home and they hit 107 with a 492 OPS with runners in scoring position, 29 runners left on base. That's from Jared Carrabas, who is in his room crying right now because the Red Sox are so bad. So the vibe shift did not work for the Red Sox. They wanted to fix the offense by firing the entire offensive staff, and the offense sucks. They go 2-4 this week. 2-4, lose 2 out of 3 to the Blue Jays and 2 out of 3 to the Astros. And if you're paying close attention, that even hurts more because those are two of the worst pitching staffs in the league this year. I mean, both of them are hurt, very badly hurt. The Blue Jays came in with the 22nd worst starting pitching ERA in baseball, and the Astros had the 29th worst pitching staff in baseball, starting pitching staff, and the worst bullpen in baseball, and they only scored 13 runs against them. So they had the second worst runs scored in baseball this week while facing the Blue Jays and the Astros. So, not so good. It gets even worse, guys. Ranger Suarez had a great first start, 8 innings, 10 Ks against the Blue Jays. Okay, he's turning around last 4 starts, only allowed 4 runs. And that was all in one game. Since April 11th, he has a 1.35 ERA. Ooh, 4th most WAR in baseball. Looking good for Ranger Suarez. Left the finale with a hamstring injury. So when you're the Red Sox and your pitching staff is really 2 guys and one of those guys gets hurt, that's really bad. It gets even worse. The other guy also got hurt. Garrett Crochet is on the 15-day IL with left shoulder inflammation. Sonny Gray is already on the 15-day IL. And like I was saying just now, the Red Sox starters have a combined 0.7 WAR this year. But without Suarez and Crochet, if you take them out, they'd have a negative 0.6 WAR. Now, both those guys are hurt. That would make them the worst pitching staff in baseball without those 2 guys. I guess that Ranger Suarez's injury doesn't seem like it's going to be too bad. They're thinking that he could make his next start, but we will see about that. But when it rains, it pours, Mitchell. Holy shit. Red Sox end April with the 3rd fewest homers in baseball. Roman Anthony has 5 RBIs this season. He had 7 RBIs in the World Baseball Classic.
I remember watching the WBC thinking, wow, Roman Anthony is about to have a massive season.
I think I called him potentially the best player of all time after the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, he had more homers in the WBC than he's had so far this year.
29 games so far this year. He has 5 RBIs. He did that in about 6 games in the WBC. And you know what happened after that? Wilson Contreras comes out and he starts blaming. What is the quote from Wilson Contreras? He says, well, we got a lot of quotes because like we were saying earlier, what you can expect it out of Boston, the reports in Boston are some of the best reports of all time. They do a great job reporting in Boston. And we got a lot of kind of dirt coming out like around this whole firing. So when Alex Cora and Jason Varitek got fired, this isn't really a report, but this is just an interesting fact. It was the first game at Fenway since 2004 that nobody in uniform in Boston had won a World Series with the Red Sox. So that's a new era. Who tweeted that?
You have it from Matthew Gross.
Matthew Gross. Thank you, bro. I fucking love you, bro. I fucking love you, man. Matthew Gross. That's a good tidbit you got me going on.
That is crazy.
His first time since 2004.
I was 7.
Aw.
I was 17.
You had when did you stop aging? When did you put a pause on your age?
I was born 1919, and then I got to about 80, and I did a reverse
You did a Benjamin Button?
Benjamin Button, and then I went back. Then I went up to then I went to 1998 is when 1990 is when I reversed it again. I started aging again at 1990. So by the time I got 2004, I was 17 because I added some couple years. I aged quicker. You'd think I'd be 14, but I aged a little quicker because I was kind of bored. And then so I was 17 2004, but now I'm back to 27. So y'all do the math at home. More rumors, core firing rumors. According to The Athletic, Alex Bregman was a constant and outspoken advocate for the newly fired hitting coaches. That's Fatse, Lawson, and Cronin. He credited them with helping him into all-star form. So why'd they fire him? One version of events says that Breslow was going to fire some of the coaches last year until Bregman stopped him. So they were going to do this last year, but Bregman said no.
Breslow?
Breslow was going to fire them, and then Bregman said, don't fire them. I love these guys. So he did not fire them. But now that Bregman's not there to stop him from firing them, he fired them. Quote, he wanted to fire everybody who was here before he got there. And now he finally...
Man, imagine having that much power for a season. You show up and you can stop the coaches from getting fired.
Yeah, right?
No wonder Alex Cora was so upset when he found out at the bowling alley Bregman was moving on.
No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking. I just counted hours. So that's some reports going on there. There's some more reports. Breslow had considered shaking up the coaching staff after the 2025 season. Manager Alex Cora said that if he's going to fire the squad, he's going to have to fire him. So Cora said, if you're going to fire my staff, you're going to have to fire me. So he didn't fire him because Cora stuck up for his guys. But then there's other reports, Chris Cotillo and Sean McAdams say that wasn't true, that they're finding out that that's not true. So there's conflicting reports on that. Now we also find out that Carlos Narvaez, who got benched early in the season, they found out why. Didn't make a team meeting. Was late. Sorry, brother. There's consequences to your actions. And now this was the quote I was really going to talk about when it comes to the young core not performing well, which has been the big problem with the Red Sox so far. Wilson Contreras, who's been like the one hitter who's really done well this year, says, quote, after Cora got released or fired, the guys got loose because I feel like the tension was gone. Damn. So he's saying that it's better without Cora. Interesting. Hasn't turned out that way in the record, 2-4. He also blamed the lack of runs on the fact that the lineup has a bunch of young guys. Then Marcelo Meyer, who is one of the young guys, came out and said, that sounds like an excuse. So young guys versus old guys in that locker room. And then Buster Olney throws out a cheating allegation. Bomb sound. One of the interesting theories about the struggling Red Sox offense is in rival front offices that they believe the Red Sox were impacted significantly by the enforcement of coaching boxes. The Red Sox were regarded by other teams as being extraordinary at ascertaining. That's an impossible word. I never even heard that word.
You said it right.
Okay, but come on. Ascertaining grips and relaying pitch types to hitters? Ascertaining. I would have used something more digestible for the common man, such as me. But Buster only thinks he's freaking so much better, buddy, because he's got a thesaurus.
You did nail the pronunciation.
I did. Ascertaining.
I don't know if you should die on that hill.
Ascertaining, man. Buster only, I apologize. I respect the men at ESPN. Also, so that's what's saying. So the Boston Red Sox, apparently the third base coaches, first base coaches were stealing signs really well last year. They were telling the hitters what pitch was coming because they were stealing signs from the first base and third base coaching boxes. If you saw last year, the Angels confronted them on the field about that. They got into a big rift about that. I think also the Houston Astros, there was a problem in Houston over that same thing. So the Red Sox had got caught red-handed twice, at least according to those teams. Now there's a new rule. I didn't know what the new rule was, but MLB came out and was saying we're going to enforce coaches in the box now.
Yeah, so what they were finding last year and then like seasons past is that coaching the third base and first base coaches were getting way out of the box. On the field, if you were at a game, there's this little like staple shape in between, right outside of the first base line and right outside of the third base line.
More of an Office Depot man myself.
Did they sell staples though?
Yeah. The fuck?
Staple shape. So I have the graph from MLB pulled up if you want to switch it. They were finding that when runners were on base, the coaches were moving way out of the box, and they were able to relay pitch grips to either the runners or the batters. And so the batters had an advantage in seeing what was coming. So this year, MLB decided that they have to stay within the coaching boxes.
Stay in the box, guys. So once they start enforcing the box rule, Red Sox offense falls apart. Suspicious? I don't know. You be the judge at home, guys. But the Red Sox are cooked. All right, I'm going to have to take a pee break real quick. So the Phillies, they fired their manager. The Red Sox fired their manager. And then there's another team who have not fired their manager, but probably should fire their manager. That is the New York Mets, who have been New York bets against them because they're so bad this freaking season. They had won 2 of their last 17 going into the week. So when you lose 15 out of 17 games going into the week, you need a good week. They don't have a good week. They play the Nationals and the Angels, 2 bad teams, and go 3-3, which is tough. It gets even tougher for the Mets on Saturday. So on Saturday, Joe Adele gets a single to right field or left field. I don't remember. Single to right field. Jorge Soler gets thrown out at third base while the runner scores. Soler is clearly out before the runner crosses the plate. It's clear as day, but the run counts. The Mets decide not to challenge, even though it would have got overturned, and they end up losing by 1 run because they don't challenge this call. So when the team and the franchise is calling on the manager to be fired and the manager doesn't challenge a play at the plate that would have got reversed and changed the course of the game, that makes you think, man, we really should fire this guy. They still do not fire him. It really wasn't his fault. He blames it on Harrison, who I don't really know Harrison, but he says he missed it. Harrison is one of the best at his job and obviously ends up being a big play when you lose on 1 run. So I guess that's up to the guys up top who are looking at this on replay. When there's a close call like that, you call up to the boys upstairs and say, hey, should we challenge it? They told him not to challenge it, and it cost them a game. So the Mets lose to the Angels, end up winning 2 out of 3 against the Angels, but they lose that game, and they lose 2 out of 3 to the Nationals. The Mets have lost 88 straight games when trailing after 8 innings. No late inning magic for the Mets, not clutch. Just like the Red Sox, they faced 2 of the worst pitching staffs in baseball and didn't do well at all. So the Nationals, 28th in team ERA, the Angels, 23rd, and they have the 2nd worst bullpen in baseball. The Mets bat .231 against them. That's 22nd in baseball this week. Only team in MLB with no qualified hitter with an OPS over 800. That is the New York measly Mets. Ooh, one good guy, though. Juan Soto. He had a 1,300 OPS this week. He's got a 1,024 OPS since returning to the IL, but it hasn't helped much for the Mets, who stay in last place, 12-22, right behind the Phillies, the Nats, the Marlins, and the big bad Atlanta Braves. That wraps up the NL East standings. But the best division in baseball is the Central, and we had a big beef in the Central. There was a big beef in Pittsburgh. Things got testy between the division rivals, so it was a big division. That was probably the series of the weekend, was the Pittsburgh Pirates versus the Cincinnati Reds. 2 hot teams going at each other. They've beefed before. They've been beefing for centuries. I can think of the Yasiel Puig beef. I can think of, who was that Jack guy who would, why do I forget his name, but he pimped like 3 home runs and then got thrown at. He was jacked. He wore no sleeves. And he was
Dietrich, right?
Derek Dietrich. I remember the Derek Dietrich beefs. This team has been beefing for millennium, and they keep the beef going. So the Reds played the Pirates. Entering the week, the Reds had won 7 of their last 9. They had won 2 out of their last 3 games against the Rockies. So they beat the Rockies 2 out of 3 earlier this week. On Monday, they had a promotion that if they got 11 strikeouts in a game, they would get free pizza. They needed 1 more strikeout. The ump calls it a ball to take the pizza away from the fans. Challenge, they reversed it. Everyone gets free pizza. That is the first ABS challenge to pizza payoff in the history of sports. If you missed it, you didn't miss it anymore because baseball podcast doesn't exist. Got you covered. So the Reds win 2 out of 3 against the Rockies. Ellie De La Cruz becomes the first major leaguer since 1900 with 10 home runs and 8 stolen bases before May. Ellie De La Cruz is hot. Chase Burns gets his 100th career strikeout in just 72 and a third innings. That's crazy. Fastest in Reds history. 100 Ks in 72 innings. And the Reds move into first place. So the first time since 2002 that the Reds were in first place at the beginning of May, right? But they're going to a series against the Pirates, who are on their tail. The Pirates were going in the opposite direction. So the Pirates, they enter the week in third place, 4 games above 500, doing pretty good, 2 games back of first, but they get swept. So they lose in St. Louis. Their bullpen goes 8 shutout innings in game 1, so there's a bullpen game, then blow a 2-0 lead in the 9th. Tough loss. Then their second game, Braxton Ashcraft, ass crack. Apologize. That was honestly, I feel bad for him because I'm sure he's heard that a billion times his whole life, and I just had to get the low-hanging fruit. Brother, I apologize. He did allow 6 earned runs against the Cardinals, which is why they lost game 2. And then game 3, they're down 1, 2 outs in the 9th, winning run at the plate. Guy hits a bomb. Cardinals rob the home run, and they lose on a robbed home run. That's 3 games in a row losing. 4th game of the series, though, is looking good. They got Paul Skeens on the mound, and they got the freaking groundhog from the Groundhog Day guy, the shadow motherfucker. How do you pronounce it?
Punxsutawney Phil?
Punxsutawney Phil throws out the first pitch for the Pirates. O'Neal Cruz was feeding the guy carrots. It was pretty cool.
So I feel like they did a bad job advertising. Punxsutawney Phil comes out to the mound, and the manager of Punxsutawney Phil. But Phil doesn't throw out the first pitch.
Yeah, unfortunately, groundhogs can't throw.
Yeah. Oh, really, Mitch? The fucking
So
groundhog didn't fucking throw a knuckler.
Fact checker over here. Actually, he didn't throw it.
Wouldn't you would love to see this groundhog somehow like carry the ball?
Yeah. And
Shohei did it. Shohei got his dog to do it. Why can't they get Tux and Phil to do it?
Yeah, but his dog fucking choked.
What do you mean his dog choked?
Didn't his dog choke?
Take
No.
Are you talking about in the story? In the children's book?
Do you read the book?
Yeah, of course I read the book, brother. It's the first book it took me a few months.
Page
No,
3 was
dude.
really tough for you, wasn't
They
it?
trained his dog to throw out the first pitch, and he put that ball in his mouth, and he ran it home, dude, like a beast. He didn't choke. How dare you? Anyway, Patuxent Phil.
Come on, Phil.
Patuxent, Philly.
What's Donnie?
Punxsutawney Phil throws out the first pitch, eats a banana. Paul Skeens on the mound gives up 5 runs, 3 earned runs in 5 innings against the Cardinals. This guy cannot beat the Cardinals. He allows 2 first-inning home runs. He's 0-5 against the Cardinals in 7 starts. He's got a 2.95 ERA against them, which is pretty good, but still 0-5. And they lose to the Cardinals. So 4-game sweep against the Cardinals. Now they're in last place, 16-16. So it's not looking good for the Pirates. They're going into a series against the Reds. And they turn it around like that, dude. Mitch Keller comes out 7 innings, 1 earned run. Mitch Keller's had a great season, 2.85 ERA. It's been their best starter. Then they go ape poop on them in game 2. 17 runs against the Reds in game 2. And then steal game 3, 1-0 win against the Reds. So they sweep the Reds, and they had some beef in it. Okay, so Sal Stewart, who is the Reds rookie who's going off this year, calls time before the first pitch in the 7th inning. I don't know why he called time, but the pitcher pitching did not like that he called time and immediately just chucks one at him. Misses, but Sal Stewart starts saying, yo, why the fuck did you try to hit me? He says, that was soft as shit, dude. They start barking at each other. This is during a 15-6 lead for the Pirates, still throwing at guys. And they talk shit about it. The guy gets ejected, and that is game 2. Sal Stewart gets booed in game 3, but nothing comes of it. But I'll tell you what, the boys are fighting already. I don't know when they're going to play next, but I hope that's already their second series. So Stewart did hit a home run off him the first time they played, so maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know, but this whole beef was a little weird. I don't know why you would throw at a guy just because he called time. Time is valuable, I guess. You know, time is money.
Maybe the pitcher's thinking this game is already over. Like, let's get it over with.
Yeah, I mean, if this would have happened, I was just watching, I would have not thought it was on purpose, but he got ejected immediately, and then really, you could tell, didn't argue too much, so you know it was on purpose. But hey, Sal Stewart's second beef of the year. He's had a great season, huh?
Yeah, but he actually had a bad week.
He did have a bad week.
You have it down here, but 2 for 20. He had the worst F4 in baseball this week at -0.4. Still really good rookie year, but not a great week.
Yeah, bad week, but great season. I mean, he's a rookie. He's in that rookie. There's so many good rookies this year.
All of the rookies are so good.
I think
They're
there's
like the best players in baseball.
Yeah, I think there's like 6 rookies with an OPS over 900 or something crazy. Sal Stewart's got an 858 OPS in the year, 516 slugging with 9 home runs. The most RBIs by a 22-year-old or younger before May in MLB history is Sal Stewart. The guys behind him, Albert Pujols, Jackson Chourio, Juan Soto, and Miguel Cabrera. Not bad for Sal Stewart, but tough week. We got to be honest. Tough week. Another rookie, Connor Griffin for the Pirates. Amazing week. So he hits his second home run of his career. He goes 10 for 27 with a 1,063 OPS this week. He had a 182 batting average and a 242 slugging. Then he turned 20 years old. Since turning 20, 405 average, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, 3 steals, 676 slugging, and a 1,139 OPS. He's unbeatable at 20 years old. He's not a little kid anymore.
He didn't want to be an elite teenager. He wanted to be an elite 20-year-old.
I'm a grown-ass man, motherfucker.
He literally hit his first career homer on his 20th birthday.
Love it. That would have...
Man, he has seven steals. No caught stealing.
He's a fast 20-year-old man. So the Pirates turn around. I mean, they started off having a terrible week, like against the Cardinals, who we got to give our love to the Cardinals, but they allowed 30 runs in that series. Ashcraft gives up 6 earned runs, Bubba Chandler 3 earned runs in 5 innings, then Paul Skeens gets tagged. Their playoff odds went down to 46% in a week. That's up 64 to 46%. 5 straight losses in the division because they had lost the Brewers on Sunday going into this week, so it looked like, oh no, the Pirates not looking good, but then they come in and they freaking sweep the division leaders, and they're back looking fire. 26 runs in 2 games. Brian Reynolds, 1,109 OPS this week. Nick Gonzalez, don't sleep on Gonzalez. Speedy Gonzalez, they call him, 928 OPS this week. And Brandon Lowe, 914 OPS this week. So the boys are 3rd in runs, 5th in average, and 4th in on-base percentage on the year. It's really the offense for the Pirates, which was not the plot going into the season.
I can't believe they're 3rd in runs, though. They have the same amount of runs scored as the Yankees, and the Yankees have Ben Rice and Aaron Judge.
For real. And Ozuna hasn't even woken up yet. Makes you think. So even though the Pirates sweep them, they're looking great. 3rd in runs. They are in last place because this division is the best division of all time. The Cubs and Cardinals are on a 10-game combined winning streak. So the Pirates have played 19 games, most games in MLB this year against teams above 500. And, okay, I don't even know why. Okay, whatever. I don't know why that's relevant to this stat, but are in last place with an overall winning record.
It's hilarious to improve to
last.
I don't remember saying that.
It's hilarious to sweep a team, improve to 19-16, and be in last place. If they were in the AL West, if they were in the AL Central and AL West, they'd be in first place.
But they are not. They are in the Central, and they are in last place. Right above them is the Milwaukee Brewers, then the Reds, then the Cardinals, and then the Cubs. The Cubs went 5-run, won 11 of their last 13 games, second best offense in baseball. The Cubs are a beast. And the Cardinals, 6-1 this week. Coming out of nowhere, the Cardinals are getting slept on like crazy. But this week, they're in second place now, 2 games back of the Cubs. They sweep the Pirates, then beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3. And the Dodgers not doing so hot. So the Dodgers played the Marlins. So the richest team in MLB history just played the poorest team in MLB and lost. So including taxes, the Dodgers payroll, $416 million this year. So the Dodgers pay more in taxes than the Marlins pay their entire roster. Let that sink in, okay? They pay over 5 times more. Their payroll is 5 times more than the Marlins payroll. The Dodgers injured list is currently making more money than the entire Marlins roster combined. Ooh. The Marlins' entire starting lineup is getting paid $7.1 million. 9 guys for $7 million. That is a steal. The Dodgers starting lineup, is making $180 $186 million, 26 times more than the Marlins starting lineup. So Kyle Tucker is making more than 8 times more than the entire Marlins roster combined by himself. And in the first game of the series, he comes up in the bottom of the ninth with the bases loaded, down by 1, 2 outs, and he gets a walk-off. So, hey, money pays off. You pay a guy $30,000 million, he'll hit a walk-off against a bunch of guys who aren't even millionaires. The Marlins don't even have a millionaire in their starting lineup.
They are all within 40,000 of league minimum, the starting lineup.
Get your money up, bitch. Broke bitch. In Miami, too, bro. They go to the club, people looking at them like, who's this fucking broke bitch, bro, wearing freaking... What's a broke person? You're from Florida. What do broke people wear in Florida? Sandals?
Flops, wife beaters.
They're walking around like, they're rocking around like they're from Orlando.
That's different. That's posh.
Orlando's, they got money in Orlando?
Yeah.
What about Tallahassee? They're rocking around like...
I'm going to go Tampa. I'm going to go Sanford.
Ooh,
it's near Orlando.
Oof. You don't want to go to Sanford, bro. Bad look for the Miami Marlins. They got to get their money up for sure. So they lose game 1. And in game 2, Shohei Ohtani pitches. So Shohei Ohtani gets paid $70 million a year. He faces Kyle Stowers in the 5th. Kyle Stowers makes $800,000 a year. Ohtani gets paid more in 2 games than Kyle Stowers makes in an entire season. Guess what he does? Smacks a single, gives the Marlins a 2-0 lead, and wins game 2. Kyle Stowers. He needs to get a pay raise. This guy hits. In game 3, the starting lineup didn't have a single player making more than $1 million. Combined, they are making 3 times less than starter Tyler Glasnow. So Tyler Glasnow by himself is making 3 times more money than the entire starting lineup that he's facing. And he loses. Marlins scratched together 2 runs off Tyler Glasnow, shut the Dodgers down and win 3-2, winning a series against the most expensive team in MLB history. So the Dodgers, they're so overrated, dude. Oh my gosh. So entering the week, they were 19-9, second best record in baseball. They had a first place position, half game lead. Guess what they do? They go 2-4, dude. Still in first place. Still second best record in NL. Still the second best run differential in baseball. But guess what? They're not as good as the Braves. Offense sucked this week, which is saying a lot because the offense gets paid $3 billion a week. But this week, $3 billion got you a 601 OPS. Freddie Freeman batted .250 with a 568 OPS. Is he washed, Mitchell?
He came back from the paternity leave and has not hit well.
Makes me think you think he's washed.
I think before he went on the paternity list, he wasn't hitting well, but the metrics were saying he was getting unlucky. Since coming off the paternity list, metrics have said, nah, he's just bad. So, I don't know.
There goes our theory about having a baby making you a better hitter.
I never said that. It makes you a worse hitter. I've said that 100 times. They're distracting, that you can't get any sleep.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Why do you think Ohtani's struggling this year? He's got a freaking baby crying all the time. I don't know. Does Will Smith have as a baby? Because he ain't hitting well either. 250 with a 583 OPS for Will Smith this week. Kyle Tucker, 253 with a 627 OPS. And Shohei Ohtani, 566 OPS with a 188 average on the week. And it is a question, is Shohei Ohtani's offense becoming an issue? So Ohtani goes 0 for 12 this weekend, which is the most at-bats he's ever recorded in a single series of at least 3 games without a hit. That's from Jeff Jones. This week he went 3 for 19 with a 158 average, 211 slugging, only 1 extra base hit, only 1 RBI in the week. Wow, that is not Ohtani numbers. 824 OPS on the season. That will be his worst of his career. And now this lines up with his new pitching strategy, which is to pitch a lot more and focus less on hitting. So Ohtani pitched earlier this week on 5 days rest, which he usually doesn't do. Usually he'd be pitching on 6 days rest, but he wants to pitch more this year because he's gunning for the Cy Young. It's obvious. He's trying to get to the qualified innings. Does not hit in the lineup. This is the second time this year that Ohtani just pitched and doesn't hit. Now, Mr. Dave Roberts, manager of the Dodgers, says that's because they're trying to, control the workload. because he's trying to pitch more. If you're going to pitch more, you got to hit less. But it seems like, he's focusing so much on pitching. The offense, I mean, goes 0 for 12. He goes 3 for 19. Is the trade-off worth it? Now, as a pitcher, it's working pretty freaking good. So he pitches 6 innings, gives up 1 earned runs, 9 Ks against the Marlins. There was 104 pitches. So that's the first time he's thrown 100 or more pitches since 2023. He's the first pitcher in MLB history to go at least 6 innings, allow 5 or fewer hits, 1 or fewer earned runs, and 0 home runs in each of his first 5 starts at the beginning of the season. So Shohei Ohtani, according to this stat, is the best pitcher of all time. He's making history. 0.6 ERA, that's first in MLB. 145 opponent's batting average, second in MLB. 198 FIP, second in MLB. 10.2 Ks per 9, 0.87 WHIP, and a 1.3 F-WAR. So that's 2 WAR total for Ohtani. Do you think that trade-off is worth it, Mitchell? Because some Dodgers fans don't like that.
It's interesting if you look at his breakdowns. He had a really nice hitting stretch after a cold start as soon as he came to DC. From April 3rd to, let's say, April 12th, he batted .342, had a 1.189 OPS. 5 of his 6 home runs came in that span. Before that, he had a 590 OPS, and since then, he's had a 687 OPS. And I want to say that was the 1 week where he didn't pitch as much. I want to say he had he pitched 1 day
so
over a 9-game span.
It makes you think it's related. Now, if you look at Ohtani's numbers through his MLB career, the 1 year where his best pitching career was his best pitching season was his worst offensive season. So there's definitely some give and take on that. Also, if you look at the year that he was DHing only, was his best offensive season. So I know Shohei Ohtani, you might think he's the second coming of Jesus Christ. He's still human. You know what I'm saying? He could be the best athlete of all time, probably, in my opinion. But at the same time, he can hit and pitch at the same time. But if he's pitching so good, he won't hit so good. And that's what's happening this year.
I mean, right now, though, like you were saying, his pitching has just been so good that technically, yeah, the trade-off is worth it. If you're going to have a 0.6 ERA.
I mean, if the season ends today, and this is the thing, is like, if you're going to say Shohei Ohtani, like, okay, he's kind of cooked because he's hitting so bad, it's like, bro, he's literally, if the season ends today, he'd win the Cy Young.
He just won NL Pitcher of the Month.
So he won NL Pitcher of the Month, he'd win the Cy Young, and he'd be MVP, hands down. He's tied for the most WAR in baseball.
So yeah, the trade-off's worth it.
So I guess the trade-off is worth it. Maybe his OPS won't be over 1,000 this year, but holy moly. It's just, it is obvious that Shohei Ohtani went into this year and his goal was to win the Cy Young, without a doubt. And I've said it 100 times, and I don't think people are listening. When I picked him to win the Cy Young, I don't know if people recorded that and clipped it and put it out there to get it on the record, but they should have, because I deserve the credit I deserve. And did I put money that he would get more than 200 strikeouts this year? Yes. Did I bet on him to get more than 40 steals when he stole 70 or whatever the fuck, 50-50? Did I bet him to steal more than 18 and a half steals when it was his over-under on the year when he ended up stealing 50 or 45 or something? I did. Am I the Ohtani whisperer? I'm not going to go that far. But let me tell you this right now. Don't worry about his hitting. It will come around. And the pitching, it's going to be amazing. Unless he gets hurt, he's winning Cy Young. And that's on, do the bomb sound. Shots fired. So that's the Dodgers. We're really worried about the Dodgers, who are in first place, half game up with the Padres. Who I'm really worried about in that division, though, is the last place team, the San Francisco Giants, who, according to Susan Slusher, who has been covering baseball for 30 plus years, is not sure she's seen a worse series from a team in every aspect. Quote, I've been covering baseball for 30 plus years. I'm not sure I've seen a worse series for a team in every aspect. So that's funny as you said, in every aspect. Not only were they the worst, they were so bad at everything. I've never seen a team be this bad at offense, this bad at pitching, this bad at coaching, this bad at running, this bad at fielding, this bad at What else do you do?
Pre-game,
Pre-game,
post-game.
post-game. The post-game interviews were bad. Pre-game interviews were bad. The stretching was bad. The freaking uniforms sucked. The cleats. I saw a couple untied cleats. But it was some of the worst baseball anyone's ever seen. They get swept by the Phillies. So they had a lead going into the ninth in 2 games of a doubleheader, blew both games. Giants now have the worst offense in baseball. Only team in MLB not to score 110 runs yet. They're worse than the Mets, which is terrible. The Giants have hit 19 home runs this year. Ben Rice and Judge have 25. So 2 players in the Yankees combined have more home runs than the Giants. 2 players on the White Sox have more home runs than the Giants. Colson Montgomery and Munetaki Murakami have 22 home runs. That's more than the Giants. They are last in runs, last in home runs, last in on-base percentage, last in steals. They can't even steal, Mitch. Devers, what the frick, man? 11th worst OPS in baseball. I think he has the worst WAR in baseball, right?
He's either worst or second worst.
Damn, and Willie Adames not so much better. 26th worth OPS in baseball. These are supposed to be the money guys. Devers and Adames are owed a combined $395 million for the rest of their contracts. And right now, they are 2 of the worst players in baseball. They get swept by the Phillies, then get swept by the Tampa Bay Rays. Sorry. I was thinking about Jack because Jack's team. So that's why I said that.
Thanks for thinking about me.
But congrats on the getting swept, dude.
Cheers.
They get swept by the Rays. They go 0-6 on the road trip. Were walked off 3 times, so 3 walk-offs. And in the other games they weren't walked off, outscored 15-1. Put the bat on the ball. It is funny, all the guys they added. I mean, this team shouldn't be this bad at offense. There is no way that they should be this bad at offense. Go through their lineup and tell me that's not a good lineup.
So their best hitter right now is Casey Schmidt.
Casey shit.
Luis Arias is like a defensive player now.
Yeah, respect.
And then Matt Chapman
Defense wins championships.
isn't hitting well. Elliot Ramos, league average.
But I'm just saying, Devers, Arise, Willie Adames, Matt Chapman, Helio Ramos. Then you got the grandson of the wind in there. Throw in Patrick Bailey. Like, you're telling me that's the worst offense in baseball?
I mean, Patrick Bailey can only hit when the game is on the line.
Hey, you need a guy.
I guess the game hasn't been on the line for Patrick Bailey.
You need a guy like that.
They are. I don't know if you saw this. This was a kind of a last minute thing, but they're calling up the 20th best prospect in baseball, Bryce Eldridge.
Bryce Eldridge from my neck of the woods, Nova, bro. Let's go, Bryce. Yeah, so they're gonna shake things up there, dude. Bring some lively youth energy.
Man,
And I think
6'7".
He's 6'7", dude. And he's tall drink of water. Who's gonna play first? What position does he play?
He's a DH first baseman.
Okay, so where's Rafael Devers gonna go?
Maybe they just flip flop.
Send him back to the fucking Richmond. We're gonna go see Devers in Richmond next week. Because that's how bad he's been. But there's another team in the Bay Area, and they are a better team than them. The Athletics don't have a positive run differential, but are somehow in first place. And I love it, bro. They got some fucking hitters over there. Carlos Cortez won Player of the Week, 1,092 OPS, third best hitting in the league if he was qualified by OPS. And Shea Bangaliers, this is the new Cal Raleigh, leads catchers in WAR average, slugging, home runs, and OPS, 1,117 OPS. That is the best amongst catchers. 6th best position player in baseball by WAR. Shea Langoliers is still the 2nd best player by WAR since the All-Star break, last All-Star break. So this ain't just a 1 season, 1 month thing. This boy's been bobbing. Say less. 1,496 OPS with a 955 slugging this week, was the best hitter in baseball. And then my guy, Nick Kurtz, holy moly. I feel like this went under the radar. This guy got walked 20 games in a row. Who does that, Mitchell?
At the tail end of his streak, he was walking and his walk rate was going down because he was walking so much.
Unbelievable. I think he had like 26 walks in 20 games. On pace for 176 walks this year.
He had more walks within his streak. This was before his streak was even over, but he had more walks, and that's like 20 game span, 19 game span, than Michael Harris has had in all but one of his seasons in the major leagues.
Hey, man. The guy can walk it. Walk it like I talk it. Yeah. Walk it like I talk it. Yep. That should be his walk-up song. Speaking of walks, walk-up songs, and all that. Like I said, on pace for 176 walks. Only players who have had more walks than that in a season: Ted Williams, Mark McGwire, Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds, and Nick Kurtz, guys. It is insane, bro, because it's not like they're pitching around Nick Kurtz like he's Babe Ruth, dude. But he's still walking 20 games in a row. Like, I know he was a good player his rookie year, but he ain't Babe Ruth. He ain't on the Diana ball like Ted Williams was. I apologize. You can't even joke around about that. A guy like that. War hero. You're going to say Ted Williams did steroids?
He was on amphetamines.
Allegedly.
Not steroids.
Allegedly.
Put some respect on his name.
But is all the walks actually making him worse hitter because he's not hitting for power this year? The Juan Soto slant?
It is crazy, yeah. His on-base percentage is the same as his slugging. Last year, it felt like every game that you watched, he was hitting a home run. And this year, he only has 5.
Well,
So
five's not bad. Come on, 5's not bad.
I mean, compared to last year, I mean, he had 5 and like 7 at-bats last year at one point.
Well, he's being patient. He's taking his walks, getting on board so Mr. Bangaliers can hit him in. It's surprising me that they're only 16th in runs. They're 7th in OPS, but only 16th in runs for the Athletics. The starting pitching is really the issue, which everyone called going into the season. But this week, great week. Well, I guess they were an okay week. They were only 3-3 this week, but they stay in first place. The division is not great. So you don't need to be great. You just need to stay in your lane, play within yourselves, take your walk when it gets presented to you, stay 2 games above 500, and be in first place. And that's what the Athletics are doing. I love it. Aaron Savali has been a big pickup, 2.95 ERA with a 1.3 WAR so far in Sacramento. Maybe he found a new home. But, and then Jeffrey Springs, he's done pretty good since coming from Tampa Bay and an injury. But my guy, Luis Severino, bro, we paid you the big bucks. Step it up, bro. 4.46 ERA for Severino. What the crap? You think that the Athletics go all in at the deadline, get some starting pitchers, and go for a World Series?
What would happen if they did, and they did make it to the World Series? Where are they playing?
Listen, I would not. Yeah, that's a great question. Probably in San Francisco, right? I mean, there's no way they're going to play playoff games in a minor league park. I don't think.
There's no shot.
But yeah, it would be. It's going to be so weird. I guess they'll. I would guess they would play playoff games in San Francisco. Maybe the Giants will be in the playoffs too. Maybe not.
I mean, that would be a miracle comeback for the Giants.
But we will see. We will see. So as of now, Athletics are in first place. If the season ends today, they are in the playoffs. Right above the Texas Rangers, the Seattle Mariners, the Houston Astros, and the big, bad, terrible Los Angeles Angels. Let's cover some of the hottest teams in baseball. The Cardinals, man. So the Cardinals coming in this week had lost 5 out of the last 6. They were 1 game above 500, but in last place this week, 6-1. They sweep the Pittsburgh Pirates and win 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. Jordan Walker in game 1 against the Dodgers, 4 for 4 with 2 doubles, 2 RBIs. Love him. He kind of slowed down after an insane start, but guess what? This week, 1,098 OPS. Don't sleep on Alex Burleson. 1,225 OPS. They put up 30 runs in 4 games against the Pirates. And the best guy of them all, J.J. Weatherholt, J.G. Wetworth, 877 cashes in on the Pirates. 6 hits, 3 walks, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs in a series, and hits a leadoff home run against Paul Skeens. Paul Mudda and Skeens. It's my money and I need it now, mother. Okay. J.J. Weatherholt. Love it. Cardinals. Don't sleep on the Cardinals. Where would you put their playoff odds right now in the Mitchell Analytics?
The NL Central's so tough right now. I feel like everyone has about a 25-30% chance of making the playoffs.
So you would give the Cardinals the same odds to make the playoffs as the Cubs?
I would give the Cubs a better shot.
Yeah, no shit, Mitchell. What the
But
fuck, dude?
the Cardinals did have a great week in terms of playoff odds. They had the best increase in playoff odds. They went from about 12% playoff odds to 26 this week.
But do you think they're going to win 6 out of their next 7 games like they won this week? I mean, no offense to the Cardinals, but I think they're.
I think I am sleeping on the Cardinals, to be honest. Even after beating the Dodgers 2 out of 3, beating the Pirates, I'm not very impressed by their overall team, and this might just be, what's the anti-Midwest bias, I guess.
Flyover states.
But I just don't feel like I'm looking at this squad and going, they are, especially with the NL Central being what it is right now, I just don't see them pulling out in front of two of those teams. I guess you only need to beat two other NL Central teams the way things are going.
The Cardinals right now, over the last 7 days, Alec Burleson and Jordan Walker are first and second best hitters in baseball this week. And according to the Fangraphs Power Rankings, their whole starting lineup is all homegrown players. They were all drafted or signed as an international free agent by the Cardinals. So this is a rebuilding year. I mean, that is something to be excited about. I mean, I think the Cardinals make the playoffs, I would say, miracle. But you're still excited because the young core is doing well. I mean, Jordan Walker emerging back like he's done this year is huge because that guy was missing in action the past 2 seasons after a pretty good rookie year. But even guys like Ivan Herrera, dude, no one ever even talks about Ivan Herrera. And he's got a 142 OPS plus. Mason Wynn, he could play good shortstop. He's even hitting 110 OPS plus. JJ Weatherholt, we've already talked about him. He's had a great rookie year. Burleson, everyone sleeps on Burleson. All homegrown guys. I think the pitching is honestly kind of dog crap, dude. That's why I'm not giving them a playoff nod, bro. I'm not giving them the playoff nod. But it is pretty crazy. You never see that. All 9 players in their starting lineup are all homegrown players.
I don't know if I've ever seen that, to be honest.
There's a first time for everything, man. Cubs, another team. They won 11 of their last 13 games. They came into this week in second place, 1 game back of Cincinnati. Not anymore, motherfuckers. They went 5-1, went 2 out of 3 against the Padres. They go out west and beat them and then beat the D-Bags. So this week, Ian Happ goes off 1,200 OPS. Seiya Suzuki goes off 890 OPS. Michael Busch, 869 OPS. B. Cor Armstrong, he's back. 2 home runs this week with an 865 OPS. And Nico Horner takes a pitch to the freaking head. Doesn't even care, dude. That was a cool clip. If you know, you know. The guy eats one to the face, turns to the dugout and says, let's fucking go. And then Moises Ballesteros. I'm on fire today. Was that right? Ballesteros. Mo Bala, which is what Mitchell calls him in the notes, which was great, dude.
Unfortunately, not an original.
Yeah, I knew. I kind of figured that. But anyway, Mo Bala. Don't sleep on Mo Bala. Another Rookie of the Year candidate. 457 batting average, 5 home runs, 14 RBIs, and a 1382 OPS. That's the entire month of April. Holy moly, Mo Bala. Mo money, Mo Bala. Mo problems, Mo Bamba. Cubs can hit, man. 2nd in runs, 4th in home runs, 5th in OPS, 5th in slugging. 4 qualified hitters with an OPS plus over 150. When has that ever happened in MLB history? Probably never in history, other than the Braves. But Nico Horner, Carson Kelly, Seiya Suzuki, and Mo Bala always all got OPS pluses over 150. I don't even think they're all qualified, but I said they were, so they are. Pussy. But Dansby Swanson left a game with a left glute cramp. Cramping in his butt, dude. That's concerning. They are in first place right now, 2 games ahead of the Reds. There's only 12 teams above 500 entering Saturday's game. 5 of those teams were in the NL Central. 4 out of 5 highest scoring teams this week were in the NL Central. They went 20-12 this week. All 5 teams are at least 3 games above 500. So the Central, we're going to have to start stopping and landing the plane in the Midwest to see some baseball. Not a flyover state anymore. Milwaukee is actually a great state to visit because not only do they have dairy products.
Culver's, shout out Culver's, love Culver's.
They also have the Brewers, who going into the week had lost 4 out of their last 5. You thought, oh no, Brewers are on a cold streak. What do? Take down the Diamondbacks, 2 out of 3. Take down the Nats, 2 out of 3. They go 4-2. So what is this about Chad Patrick keeps throwing up? Is he lactose intolerant? Is he eating all the dairy?
I think he has like pre-game or game pitching anxiety. Every time he pitches, he throws up, and he says it's normal. And then on, I think, Monday or Tuesday. And the second inning, he's just like, I can't see. I can't see.
I can't see.
Yeah, he couldn't see. Then he stays in the game and pitches 4 more innings.
Oh, this guy might have a brain tumor or something. This is bad.
He's pitching really well when he is not throwing up. He has a 2.57 ERA in 28 innings.
There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom
But-
spaghetti.
Yeah, it seems like
He's
every
nervous.
game he's throwing
But
up.
on the surface, he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting. That is whole time. Downtown. 5 innings, 2 earned runs, man. Struck out 5, also walked 5. Because he couldn't fucking see. Eyeballs on the top of his head. Chad Patrick, man. I hope you get that figured out. But if you don't, it doesn't matter. Because the Brewers physicians checked his blood pressure. Everything came back normal. Don't even worry about Chad Patrick's blood pressure. That shit is normal. Speaking of not normal, Brandon Woodruff, velocity was down 5.5 miles per hour. Oh. He got taken out of the game, so Woodruff is on the bump. Do you have an update on his injury? That didn't sound good.
I think they were saying a shoulder inflammation.
Ooh.
But this is a guy who missed, a season and a half in between 2024 and 2025. And then he came back. He went to free agency. The Brewers signed him. He had pitched decently, but yeah, that's a big loss.
They lost him, but it didn't matter because the offense went off. So they went from 13th in runs to 8th in runs. They had 2 13-run games against the Diamondbacks. Who the frick was pitching for the Diamondbacks, man?
The Diamondbacks pitching has been terrible. I think Michael Soroka had one of those games where his ERA went from like 2.20 to 4.70 in one game. And then Merrill Kelly, I don't know if it was this one or later in the week, but he has had 2 starts now where he's allowed 6 runs in a row, or 6 runs in his back-to-back starts.
Well, maybe it wasn't that they're bad at pitching. It's that the Brewers are that good at hitting. Do we have to give the Brew Crew credit where it's due?
Oh yeah, I mean, they are great at moving around the base.
Manufacturing runs.
Yes.
Great at moving them around bases. Get them on, get them over, get them in.
They don't really hit homers. They went like a week and a half hitting just 1 homer, and then Frelick hit 1, and Pat Murphy said, "I ordered that one." And then you'd think if Pat Murphy can just order home runs, he'd be doing it more often. But
For
I think
real.
he likes his as a team the way it is.
Do we have an update on the tortoise? How big is that fucker getting?
I looked it up. I wanted an update. I haven't seen anything in weeks.
They're hiding it, dude. They're hiding it. Release the files.
I feel like there's no way they're like taking care of this tortoise. Like the tortoise had to go somewhere. I don't
But
know.
where
Pete
did
is
it
gonna get
go?
involved. It's a good question,
To a farm upstate.
and I think I'm gonna spend next week just getting down to the bottom of it.
You're
Going
gonna
to
fly to
Milwaukee.
Wisconsin and just like go to every single farm.
I mean, I think I'll do whatever I need to do. You know,
This is no place for a turtle. Come in with the magnifying glass. Speaking of home runs, you know who leads the Brewers in home runs this year? Gary Sanchez. 5. He's tied with Jake Bowers. But 5 home runs for Gary Sanchez. He's back. Gary Sanchez is only 33 years old. Say what? I thought he might have been damn near 43 years old. He's 33 years old, man. On his 7th team. Coming back. Having a resurgent year. Love it. They win 2 out of 3 against the Nats. Unfortunately, Mizorowski. Oh my gosh, Jack. Did you see this?
I caught wind of it.
He's all legs, arms and legs. Tall drink of water. He left the game early with an injury. They say he's going to be okay, but he struck out 8 and 5 in the 3rd innings. But
Didn't allow a hit.
didn't allow a no-hitter. Just like Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer no-hitter. 7 no-hit innings for Trevor Bauer. He's tweeted about it 17 times. Maybe it's time for the Brewers to make a call. We have 2 Bauers on the team. Jake Bauer, Trevor Bauer. What do they have in common?
The first 5 letters of their last name.
Hey, 2 Bauers, the Bauer brothers. That will go viral. And then they had some fans eating spaghetti at the ballpark. These guys brought in a bag of spaghetti at the ballpark.
They were way more strategic about it than I thought they were. I thought they just brought in a bag of spaghetti. But they went in and they assigned, there was a group of 5 people, Jack. They assigned each person to have a different duty. One person only bringing in the noodles.
Krebs brought the noodles.
Only another person bringing in the bread. Another person,
Betke brought in the garlic bread.
another person, the parm, just the parm.
Natalie.
And then they
She
had
was in
someone
charge
on
of the parm.
meatball assignment and plate assignment.
Panowski. He's in charge of the meatballs.
And they put it all together and had a spaghetti dinner at a Miller Park. Here's a picture of it. And they said it was cold.
So is that legal?
It was legal. I guess they had to do it in a certain way. Maybe you can't have a bag of spaghetti, but you can bring in
You can bring in
the
outside
noodles
food,
and the
right?
meatballs. Yeah.
In every major league park.
I don't know about every park has their own rules.
So you can bring in your own hot dogs, your own Lunchables, your own.
You telling me I can walk into the ballpark with a bag of meatballs, though?
Fuck yeah. These guys just
Yeah.
they proved it. Proof of concept, brother. Make sure you get someone to bring the plates, though. That would have been better if they just fucking
Out of the bag. Yeah.
palm that shit. So congrats to the Brewers for their 2 series wins this week. But it's time to move on to the Yankees. The Yankees are going under the radar because the Yankees right now, I would say, if I had to guess, have the second best record in baseball.
They have the second best record in baseball.
They have the second best record in baseball right now. They beat the Rangers 2 out of 3. Ben Rice and Aaron Judge. Okay, so Aaron Judge and Ben Rice are the 2 best players in the fucking universe right now. So Judge and Ben Rice become the second pair of Yankees ever to have 10 home runs in before 30 games. Other 2 guys were Mickey Mantle and Yogi Berra, who are also pretty good. So they're first and second in the league in home runs, and they're on the same team. What makes that even crazier is that Max Fried and Cam Schlittler, are tied for first and second in pitching WAR. So they have the 2 best hitters in terms of homers and the 2 best pitchers in terms of value. So combined, they have 7.7 WAR amongst 4 players. That's more than 21 teams. So Schlittler, Max Fried, Ben Rice, and Aaron Judge, as 4 guys, have more WAR than the Tampa Bay Rays. And the Tampa Bay Rays are in second place right behind them. Only a game and a half out. But pretty good start to the season. Are they top heavy, Mitchell?
Their starting pitching staff is actually really good. Aside from Luis Gil, the starting pitching has, I think no one has an ERA over 3.03.
I think the Yankees right now are the most under. For some reason, the Yankees have gone way under the radar this year. They are, because like what you just said about the pitching staff being amazing. Guess what? When it comes to runs, 3rd in the league in runs this year.
I mean, Yankees Twitter's on Twitter wondering, like, is Max Fried even our 3rd best pitcher? Because Will Warren has had such a great start to the year.
Will Warren, man. Whew. 6 1/3 innings for Will Warren, 1 run allowed. He's got a 2.39 ERA. And don't forget about Ryan Weathers. Were you sleeping on Ryan Weathers?
I was sleeping on Ryan Weathers.
He had 5 innings, 1 earned run, has a 3.03 ERA. But Max Fried's still better than both of them. Come on. Max Fried's 6 scoreless, lowered his ERA to 2.09. Most innings pitched at 47.1. That was after his first start. Did he have another start? Yeah, then he pitched again, had 3 earned runs and 5 1/3, raised his ERA to 2.39. So wow, his ERA went way up, 2.39. But Cam Schlittler, respect to the Schlittler. He's got the best WAR in baseball amongst pitchers. First pitcher to surpass the 2 WAR mark before May since 2021. That was Jacob deGrom and Garrett Cole. Oh, I forgot Garrett Cole. He gained 40 pounds of fat, and he is returning to the major leagues when?
He's on his rehab assignment right now.
And he's looking thick. You guys got to pull up a picture of Garrett Cole. He's gained some weight, but hey, that's not always a bad thing. We made a whole video about that. Being fat does make you better at baseball. So I'm not hating on Cole, man. I like that. He's got his winter weight going. Like it. I mean, do you see Kershaw lately? I bet Kershaw is up to 300 pounds right now, if I had to guess.
Speaking of top heavy,
Clayton Kershaw.
was that too long ago?
Yeah.
That you said top heavy?
I thought you were going to come up with a new guy. Kershaw, top heavy. Big belly. Big
All right,
tits.
found a video of Garrett Cole.
Pull up big tits. Oh, yeah. There they are.
Okay, this feels wrong. He looks fine.
He looks fine.
He's got kids.
Yeah.
Oh, look, he's still got it.
Yeah, man. The physique is not looking too shabby.
Baseball
man. I like
pitchers
that.
are so funny because they can look like this and then they can go out and be just the most terrifying pitchers.
Yeah,
you
dude, if
ever
I was a
come across.
professional, how tall is he? Probably 6'4"? He looks fucking tall. He looks like he's damn near up to that ceiling.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he's like 6'3", 6'4".
I think he's got a great body.
I think you have a great body, Garrett Cole. I do respect and admire your body, sir. I respect all bodies, fat or slim, or in the middle. How would you describe Jazz Chisholm's physique, Jack?
Ugh.
It's chiseled. Well, he was wearing AirPods, but it was actually just a wad of cotton in his ear. Because he has earaches. Imagine going to the IL with earaches. Then he called people on his Instagram story dumb, which is ironic because he was just getting called dumb. It's a dumb off. I'm not dumb. You're dumb. Look who's talking. But they sweep the Orioles. They beat the Rangers, sweep the Orioles. The Yankees have the second best record in baseball. New York Yankees have 3 of the top 12 qualified ERA pitchers in baseball. An ERA pitcher. And they're amazing. They're ahead of the Braves. They're ahead of the Dodgers when it comes to ERA of the starting pitchers. Will Warren, Ryan Weathers, Cam Schlittler, Max Fried. Luis Gil, what happened to him, man? He's cooked?
He basically can only pitch against the Red Sox, I think.
Well, that's not saying much. He went down to the minor leagues? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, he was sent down after his start, I think at the end of last week, the 26th. Yeah, he allowed 6 runs against the Astros, and they were like, down to the minors.
Don't sleep on the big, bad Yankees, man. The big, bad Yankees. First place, second best run differential in baseball. I'm just making shit up. I don't even know. But they're third in runs. They're tied with the Nationals and Pirates in runs. Going into the season, you'd think, oh, no, the Yankees are tied with the Nationals and Pirates in runs. That's not good. But it's good. They're third place.
That's very good.
Very good. But Anthony Volpe sent back down to the minors because they got a better guy than Volpe. Hate to break it to you. But my man, their shortstop, who I don't even know his name. Why am I saying I love him so much? Jose Caballero is a beast still. Leads the league in stolen bases. His OPS has dropped. He's about a league average hitter now. But Volpe stays down. I guess he hasn't been hitting well. But imagine how good they'd be when Anthony Volpe comes back up.
They'd be just as good.
Oh, my gosh. They're going to be amazing. But, I mean, I am excited to see what Garrett Cole's got to offer at this age. He used to be one of the best pitchers in baseball. He used to be the best pitcher in baseball. Maybe he returns and he's still the best pitcher in baseball. Do you know what day he's coming back?
He just started his rehab assignment, and rehab assignments for pitchers can last like a month, or I think even 45 days if you're coming back from an arm injury, like Garrett Cole is.
Well, there's no rush because they ended the week 23-11. They are 8-2 in their last 10 and have a 3-game winning streak. However, Jack Rays right on their tail.
I have been sleeping on the Rays.
Well, wake up! Because they just beat the Guardians, man. 2 out of 3. Then they swept the Giants. Eat my ass, Giants. Junior Cavanero hit himself in the face with a foul ball. Had to leave the game. But he was in the lineup the next day because it means more. It means something. Only 10 runs scored between these two teams and against the Guardians. Pitchers duel, pitchers duel, pitchers duel. They won 2 out of 3. Then they sweep the Giants. Dude, their starting pitching is hilarious, bro. Give me a rundown on their starting pitching. Because it's not guys you think are good at starting pitching, but they are good at starting pitching. Which isn't surprising because it's Tampa Bay Rays who always have bad guys who do good.
Yeah, so
I love when a bad guy does good.
their whole pitching staff right now is on just a generational run. In the last 10 games, they've given up 13 runs. Nick Martinez has a 1.70 ERA. Steven Matz has a 3.86 ERA, but he's only given up 3 runs over his last 13 innings. Shane McClanahan had a rough start coming back from his injury. Hasn't allowed a run in his last 2 starts. Drew Rasmussen had the highest ERA of the bunch this week. He allowed 2 runs. Their bullpen has allowed 1 earned run in the last 20 innings. So yeah, this week they allowed 7 runs. They have gone from 20th in runs allowed to 7th.
So what's their secret? They got a new pitch. The Rays just invented a new pitch. They have an algorithm that invented a sweeping sinker that cuts in on the hands, no matter if you're a lefty or righty.
Putting it I'm not putting that past the Rays.
Did they use the sabermetrics to create a new speed?
Well,
They got a new mile per hour.
they've
They
taken
invented a 15 mile per hour fastball. Hitters aren't used to it.
So Griffin Jacks, he was one of the better relievers for the Twins. He gets traded to the Rays. Doesn't do as well. He starts the season out of the bullpen. Isn't good. And then they've just decided to make him a starter. And he hasn't allowed a run.
Steven Matz, yeah. Him and Nick Martinez, just randomly at 35 years old. You guys want to be starters again? I know Nick Martinez, you haven't started in 7 years consistently. Let's just make you a starter at 35. Okay. I'll have a 2 ERA because I invented a new speed pitch. They found out that if you throw a 94 mile per hour fastball, but you have 3 inches of vertical movement, even though that is average in all aspects, it is an unhittable pitch. They did the data. They crunched the numbers, and they created a new portal to the best ERA impossible. They invented a new ERA, and it's damn near close to 0. Gotta respect it. Offense only scored 15 runs. Guess what? Doesn't fucking matter, dude. We went 5-1. We are 1.5 games back of the big, bad Yankees.
They're on a stretch right now where they're about to face the Blue Jays and the Red Sox for 10 games. So this could be a big next 10 games for the Rays in terms of like AL East standings.
So their playoff odds have gone from 19.9% to 61% this month. Biggest change in the past month. Woo! Change the narrative for the Rays. Does it surprise you?
I mean, they're a half game better than the Dodgers right now.
It is.
That shocked me.
It's surprising, but you're not surprised when you're surprised by the Tampa Bay Rays. Are you surprised, Jack, as a fan?
I feel like no. I do actually feel like Tampa sports love being an underdog. Right when you start doubting them is when they kick it into gear. And then when they're expected to dominate, that's when they lose.
How did the hockey team do?
I actually don't follow hockey anymore.
Don't you have a tattoo of the Tampa Bay Devils on your finger?
No, I have a tattoo of the Tampa Bay Lightning on my finger.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't know. I have all kinds of things tattooed on my body.
Let's run some of those down. Some of them we can't talk about, huh?
Yeah, some of them.
His past is, but it doesn't count if it was in prison.
Right. I mean, that's just survival.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of the Rays, there's another team that whose name rhymes with the Rays. That's the Jays. They're also blue. So they should name the Blue Rays. I mean, that's kind of obviously they're blue. So the Blue Rays. Then you got the Blue Jays, who entered the week winning 5 of their last 7. The problem with the Blue Jays, which we have covered, is that their starting pitching staff extremely hurt. So Jose Barrios on the injured list, Shane Bieber on the injured list, Trey Savage was on the injured list, Bowden Francis, Cody Ponce out for the season. Entering the game on Monday, the Blue Jays ranked 22nd in starting pitching ERA at 4.56. Then Max Scherzer goes on the IL. Former tendinitis from Max Scherzer. 1 strikeout away from 3,500. 11 strikeouts away from passing Walter Johnson for 10th all time. Which makes me nervous that they're just waiting for him to hit these and then have him retire, because he just came off the IL. He's been injured 3 times this season, and he didn't go in the IL. I'm thinking it was so he could pass these milestones. Wasn't able to pass these milestones. Now he's on the IL. Luckily, Trey Savage returned on Tuesday, went 5 1/3, allowed 0 earns, then pitched again later in the week, 1 run allowed in 4 innings. So a great return from Trey Savage. And that's a big difference for them. So the Blue Jays are weird where their pitching staff has been really bad this year, but it's really just because of injuries, but in a way where like the Astros, they've been bad because of injuries, but they're fucked because there's too many injuries. However, the guys who have been pitching for the Blue Jays who are supposed to be good have been great. Kevin Gausman, 3.10 ERA. Dylan Cease, 3.05 ERA. He leads the league in strikeouts right now. Dylan Cease's average fastball velocity has improved 3 miles per hour since 2021. And he's like 34 or something. So some late onset velocity for Dylan Cease, who is not deceased. He's actually getting better every year. He gets bad and then he gets better. He is the guy who has flip-flop years. And last year he had a bad year, so this year he's having a good year. It all makes perfect sense. 13.1 Ks per 9 for Dylan Cease. Patrick Corbin's even having a great year, 3.65. So the top three guys have all done great. It's really the other guys, Max Scherzer and Eric Lauer, who really shouldn't be starting, who have done terrible. They got a 9.64 ERA and a 6 ERA. But good news for the Blue Jays is those guys probably don't have to pitch once they get healthy, because Barrios is coming out of the IL soon. Savage is coming off the IL soon. Shane Bieber is going to be coming back eventually. So, things are looking up for the Blue Jays. They haven't had a great season so far, but I mean, the future, I'm foreseeing some light at the end of the tunnel. Okamoto, though. 2 home runs on Friday, 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. That's 4 home runs in 3 games, 9 home runs this season, 791 OPS, and they're bowing to him in the dugout. They really respect him.
He's started doing that pregame circle, right? And now they're bowing to him.
They say, "What's one thing you're thankful for?" Everyone goes, "For you, Kazuma. We are grateful for Kazuma Okamoto, the best home run hitter on the Blue Jays this year. He has 9 home runs, which is the most on the Blue Jays. Second most is Dalton Varsho and Jesus Sanchez. So Kazuma Okamoto in the last 3 days has the most home runs on the Blue Jays. This is from William Dubé. This is a funny way to break down the stats. So who's the best home run hitter on the Blue Jays? Kazuma Okamoto. Who's second best home run hitter on the Blue Jays? Kazuma Okamoto in the last 3 days. Who's third? Dalton Varsho. They go 4-3 this week. They beat the freaking Red Sox. Again, not saying much. And then beat the Twins. Sorry, they go 4-2 this week. Oh, no. They split against the Twins? Mitchell, help me out here.
They split against the
They
Twins.
split against the freaking Twins. I'm telling you, once they get healthy, don't sleep on my Blue Jays. The Orioles, I don't know. Another bird. Different bird, different vibe. Beautiful bird. Different vibe. So they win 2 out of 3 against the Astros. Trevor Rogers has a bad flu.
I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher put on the IL
For the
for
flu?
But he has the flu. He hasn't pitched well over his last 3 games. He started off the season really well. If you remember last year, he got called back up from the minors after sucking in 2024. Was incredible. This year, he started off the season with a 189 ERA in his first 3 starts. Then he had a 953 ERA over his next 3 starts. Then they put him on the IL. Didn't really specify why on that first day. Next day, they're like, he has a bad case of the flu. Never seen that before.
So flu. He needed a break. Yeah, he was electric. So I forgot what the stats were, but since coming back from the IL last year, he was like the second or third best pitcher behind Skeens and Skubal. And then started off this year hot as fuck, but so lately, not so much. And the Orioles need him. They won 2 out of 3 against the Astros. However, they get swept by the Yankees, so they stay 3-3 on the week. Alonso has his 5th home run. He's up to a 709 OPS, but he's going to have to do better than that. Starting pitchers allowed a combined 13 runs in 12 2/3 innings. 9.23 ERA against the Yankees. Not going to get the job done for the Orioles. 15-19, 2-game improvement from last year. So, come on, man. Wake up. Be more like the Guardians, who are just as bad, kind of, a little better. But instead of being in second to last, they're in first place because they are in a weak division. The Guardians go 3-3 this week, which is the most Guardians thing I've ever said in my life. Right down the middle. Don't want to get too hot. Don't get too cold unless we want to come back from a 14-game deficit in the last month of the season. That's when we get hot. So 3-3 this week. They lose to Jack's Rays 2 out of 3, but then they beat the Athletics 2 out of 3. They only scored 10 runs against the Rays in that first series, which we covered. But hey, Chase DeLauder's back.
He had a weird start. He was the best hitter in baseball for that first week, and then he sucked for the next 3 weeks. But he hit his first homer since the beginning of April this weekend.
He's got 7. That's not too bad. He was the best hitter in baseball this year. This week. Position player by WAR, at least. 0.8 WAR. Not too bad. Jose Ramirez, though, not so good. What's Jose Ramirez's stats? 217 average with a 259 OPS. That is not Jose Ramirez level, man. Step it up, big guy. So Cleveland ends their week 18-17, 1 game above 500, but are still in first place. They call up Bazanza, man. Are you excited about Bazanza?
I am. He was the first overall pick. I love when first overall picks debut because you have such high expectations for them. He had a weird week, though. He had 3 hits, but he had 6 walks. And they intentionally walked him in his first game. The first time he reached base as a major leaguer was on an intentional walk.
They don't know how to treat an Aussie, man. They see a guy from Australia. This whole vibe is weird. We got to walk this guy. Aussies are playing baseball now? First overall draft pick out of Australia. Now he's in the major leagues. Travis Bonanza. Why do I not know how to say his name? Bazana. Not to be confused with Travis Pastrana, who is more of a extreme sport dirt bike kind of guy. Travis Bazana, more of a second baseman. Travis Pastrana, more of a backflip guy. Do we know if Bazana can do a backflip?
He looks like someone who could do a backflip.
Athletic build, man. Athletic, young. Reminds me of McGonagall. Same build. Short.
Although I'm not confident McGonagall could do a backflip.
Ooh.
No, Bazana looks like he has that in him. McGonagall looks like a guy who's just built for baseball.
Ooh. Kind of a diss, McGonagall. I don't know if I'd take that from Mitchell if I was you, but let's see if you have the balls to stand on business. Your team doesn't. They go 3-3 this week. That's mid. They lose the series to the Braves. Sorry, but then they beat the Rangers 2 out of 3. Bad news for them. Casey Mize and Javi Baez on the IL. Javi Baez might be, what happened? He got carted off the field. That was a tough injury at first base against the Braves.
Yeah, it was an ankle sprain. I thought it was like a knee injury at first, but
Damn, he got carted off for an ankle sprain?
should he have not? What do you want him to do?
I don't know.
Crawl off the field?
Yeah, if you get carted off, that means you just like, you compound fractured.
Do you have like a
concussion.
appropriate to get carted off, not appropriate to get carted off list in yet?
Yeah, you either need to be paralyzed, brain dead, compound fracture. It's got to be bad, dude. Otherwise, I want 2 teammates. I want to see your arms around 2 teammates walking off the field like brothers.
So a few weeks ago, Parker Meadows, when he ran into Riley Green, he was carted off the field.
Yeah, that's
appropriate
fine.
or not?
Oh, that's fine. That guy was concussed. That guy's going to have CTE for the rest of his life. He's going to be, because he went face first into another guy, Riley Green, right?
Yeah.
Face first into his head, full speed, trying to catch a ball. That guy's not going to be able to read to his kids when they get to I'm joking around. But yeah, your head injury, you can get carted off. But a sprained ankle, dude, you got to limp that thing, babe. Come on. Step it up, man. When you've been in the league as long as Javier, you got to know that. Either way, Scuba looked good. Like, he looked good, but he blew out his UCL. I think Scuba actually might be good. This actually was weird. So Scuba, and maybe I'm reading into this too much. I don't want Tigers fans to go down good on my head, but Scuba was pitching against the Braves, throws a pitch, takes off his glove, starts shaking his arm, then calls the trainers over. Everyone's a little concerned. Stays in the game, throws 97 miles per hour past Matt Olson, so he looks like he's fine. But it was just a weird reaction. What's going on with your elbow? He like lost feeling in his shoulder, his elbow or
I
something?
feel like if you see that motion 1,000 times, 999 times, the guy has just blown out his UCL.
Yeah, man.
That was the weirdest moment. Because were you watching that live?
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, like Scuba's done.
Well, I don't think I saw it live. I saw the clip right after it.
It was like the third pitch of the at bat, and he just instantly calls out the trainers. And every time that happens, almost, it's a UCL injury. That's the pitcher's done for the season.
Yeah.
But apparently, that's the second time he's done that this year.
Ooh, his fastball velocity is down a mile per hour. Expected batting average is up 60 points this year. Average exit velocity is up 3 miles per hour. Hard hit percentage is up 10%. 11.1 K per nine in 2025. Only 9.3 K per nine in 2026. I mean, come on. He's got a 2.7 ERA. He's been a beast. 9.3 Ks per nine. Nothing to shake a stick out, but is he paranoid? Part of me might think that. Like, this guy was so worried about pitching the WBC. You know, he's been the best pitcher in baseball over the past 2-3 seasons. He's about to be a free agent, being paid the highest paid player of all time. The only thing that could fuck him over is getting hurt. It's probably his biggest fear. Maybe he's just a little paranoid that he's getting hurt. Maybe he is hurt. I don't know, but that is a little concerning. We're going to put a pin in that. If he gets hurt later, I can say I called it, but I feel like we're using the word hurt too much. Like Johnny Cash, play that shit. That's what Scooble's going to be playing after that UCL snaps in half, if it did, but it won't. I am thinking that it won't, but I am speculating that it will. But I don't think it will till later. Is that clear?
They might have to ban you from Michigan.
Have I made myself clear?
Incredibly.
I want to make it clear I'm not rooting for Scooble to hurt himself, his elbow. It looked a little concerning, and I looked at the backwards numbers, the back door numbers. Speaking of back door, Kenley Jensen, he's got many doors. He's blown 3 saves now. Blew a save against the Braves. Sorry. Think you can come back to Atlanta and pitch against us? Not going to happen. Matt Olson took you deep. Second straight game where he allowed a 2-run walk-off home run. Tough. McGonigal. Do you like this guy?
This was the first time I really saw him every single at bat of a game, and he is impossible to get out. He seems like
Scrappy.
He's very scrappy.
He's like a Chase Utley type.
I guess that's the biggest compliment for a guy who's modeled his entire game after Chase Utley. But it felt like watching him, the Braves pitchers could get him to 2 strikes, but they could not put him away. He had a 13-game hitting streak going into the finale against the Braves on Thursday. That streak was snapped, but he walked 3 times. So he's just a really hard batter to put away, a really good hitter. I don't see another way for anyone else to win Rookie of the Year. Like, AL Rookie of the Year class right now is stacked, but McGonigal seems like a guy who is slump proof.
At 21 years old. And don't forget about Dylan Dingler. Did you say that?
I didn't. Dylan Dingler, I think, might be one of the most underrated.
See, when we're talking about the Pirates,
players.
when we talk about the Tigers, I just throw it to Mitch because this is your favorite team.
So Dingler, I think when we're talking about catchers these days, it's Shea Langoliers and Drake Baldwin. Both of those catchers have been outstanding this year, but Dylan Dingler's like right behind them. Drake Baldwin has a 1.5 WAR. Dingler has a 1.2 WAR. He's been an underrated part of his game too. Is he's been lights out on challenges. I think he's lost 3 of his 18 ABS challenges this year as a batter and a catcher. So like a hidden value there too.
Hidden valor. So the Tigers go 3-3. They are 18-17, tied for first place. So a neck and neck, Guardians and Tigers. And then the White Sox. This is a team of the Southside Samurai, baby. White Sox go 5-1. Murakami, best hitter in baseball. 13 home runs right now. Leads the league. 13 home runs on May 4th. What's he on pace for, bro? He's going to break the freaking home run record.
He's on pace for 62.
62 home
which would shatter the rookie record.
Dude, how many people are on pace for 62? Is the ball juiced? I saw Trevor Plouffe say that in a clip. And then ever since then, I'm like, I guess it is. Because there are, I mean, really just the first month of the season, a little bit more than that. There are 12 players with 10 home runs or more. So if you look at every game, who's on pace for 60 or more home runs? Well, Drew Romo, who you never heard of, is on pace for 80. We'll not count that. Will Wilson, we won't count that. Mickey Moniak's on pace for 63. What?
Mickey Moniak is on a crazy heater. He's had 4 games this year, 4 multi-homer games this year.
Dalton Rushing's on pace for 60 home runs.
I don't think you can use the on pace for those guys because they're not playing enough.
I got to go games played percentage. This will give us what we were looking for. Players on pace to break Aaron Judge's 62 home run record. One of them is Aaron Judge. The other one is Munetake Murakami. It's going to be a home run off between those two guys. White Sox, I mean, the White Sox are actually, how far back are they? Is it time to enter the conversation?
They are 1.5 games back. They're 16-18, so they're still below 500, but I've been sleeping on them because I was looking up their stats yesterday. Davis Martin, 195 ERA.
Damn.
Noah Schultz, 253 ERA. Sean Burke, 272 ERA. Eric Fetty. Eric Fetty has a 324 ERA. They have the 6th best starting pitcher ERA in baseball. and they have 2 of the top 10 home run hitting batters in baseball.
You know what they say, man? When you pitch Fetty, it's time to get the confetti ready. Murakami is at 2 home runs this week, leads the league with 13. Him and Colston Montgomery have 22 home runs combined.
Murakami still hasn't hit a double yet.
Doesn't need to. He just hits homers. They count for more anyway. More points, the better. Murakami and Montgomery have 22 home runs through 32 games. In 2025, the White Sox only had 26 home runs as a team through 32 games. So, and then in 2024, they only had 22 home runs as a team through 32 games. So Murakami and Montgomery have the same amount of home runs through 32 games than the 2024 White Sox had as a team through 32 games. Holy moly. 1.5 games back.
I just pulled the stats for last year. Through May 4 last year, there were 1,095 home runs. This year, there have been 1,089 home runs.
So more home runs?
Less
home runs. The ball's unjuiced. Just as I suspected. The Royals go 4-2 on the week. They lose a series to the Athletics, and then they sweep the Mariners. That was my 2 preseason picks. Mariners and Royals. They went after each other. Friendly fire. And my Royals swept my Mariners. Oh, no. Hate it for my Mariners. Love it for my Royals. So they've won 9 out of the last 11 games, the Royals. If you're in Kansas City and you're listening, I love it over there. And I love how the offense has woken up. So during that span, Vinny Pasquantino, 1,028 OPS. Isaac Collins. No one ever talks about Isaac Collins. Why not? All he's done is have an 883 OPS this 11-game stretch. Miguel Garcia, 833, but isn't he injured?
He missed like a game, but he came back.
Durable. He's got the same OPP and slugging as Bobby Witt Jr. during that stretch, who's also got an 833 OPS. That's crazy. They have this pretty much the exact same stat line. And Caglione and Salvador Perez also heating up. 750 OPS for both of them, pretty much. I rounded down and up for those guys. We'll just give them 750. That's the thing about the Royals, man. Everyone knows the Royals, they're going to pitch well. So if they can hit decent or above average, they're going to do pretty good. And that's what they've been doing. 77-3 in their last 10. And they've won 9 of their last 11 games. Love it for my Kansas City Royals. Anything extra on the Kansas City Royals? Some icing on the cake?
No.
Nah. I love what they're doing over there. Keep up the good work, Royals, so you can prove me right. Sucks you had to do it against my Mariners, though. Rude. Let's move on to the Twins. The least, what's the word? Aesthetic team in the Central, I'd say. They got off to a pretty hot start, but since then they've been pretty bad. They've lost 13 of their last 17 games. One shining object over there, Bryson Buxton. Byron Buxton, 5 home runs this week, had a 7-game hitting streak where he hit 400 with a 933 slugging, 5 home runs and 7 RBIs during that streak. Pretty freaking good, but Joe Ryan's hurt. Oh no. Sore elbow for Joe Ryan. I love this is the highlight for the Twins we got. Ryan Jeffers has the 8th best OPS by a catcher this season. That's like not even good. He ranks 8th amongst catchers. Pretty good season for Ryan Jeffers. But you know what? I'm going to say it. The Twins are a boring team, bro. Everything about them is boring. Their uniforms suck. Their stadium, mid. Target, not even that good of a store. Carlos Correa, not on the team anymore. Byron Buxton, pretty good, but had a great week. He's probably with a shining object. Royce Lewis, I'm assuming he's hurt.
No, surprisingly.
Okay, Royce Lewis is healthy.
He was injured this year. He's already had one of his 12 IL stints for the year, but he is back.
Then what's your excuse, Twins? Byron Buxton is healthy, and Royce Lewis is healthy, and you still suck. Step it up, bro. Joe Ryan, I mean, that's going to suck. If they lose Joe Ryan, that's all she wrote. But Taj Bradley, that's actually the real shining object. Because Byron Buxton, I mean, he's having a great season, but, you know, you're not surprised. But Taj Bradley, that's a guy that they got from the Rays. And usually when you get a guy from the Rays, they get worse when they leave the Rays. But Taj Bradley's better. 2.85 ERA for Taj Bradley. Maybe you flip him at the deadline and you plan for the future. Future high demand. Future high demand. You know, something like more outer worldly, something more like Astros, for example. That's a future-led franchise. Their whole thing is space. However, they also suck. They lost a series to the Orioles, and then they got swept, right? No, sorry. They won a series against the Red Sox. Sorry, my bad. So they allowed 20 runs against the Orioles, so not bad. I mean, not great, but it is to be expected because that IL has not gotten any better. Also, this is bad. Tatsuya Imai, who has not enjoyed his time in America, he had a rehab start, 2 innings pitched, 5 runs, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, 2 Ks, in 59 pitches. He threw 31 strikes. So about a half his pitches were balls, and it does not look good for Imai. It does not look good for the Astros in general. It sucks because they're actually hitting like crazy this year. 4th best offense in baseball, but I mean, when you have an IL that is, I mean, it's not even just their pitching. I mean, Ronald Blanco, Hunter Brown, Tatsuya Imai, Christian Javier, Hayden Wieseski, Brandon Walter, whatever. All these guys are on the IL. That's their starting pitching. But then even their hitters. I mean, Jeremy Pena's on the IL. Zach DeCenzo, Upper Fido, Jake Myers, Trammell, Nick Allen. Luckily, I mean, their best guys aren't on the IL in their lineup. They've hit amazing. I mean, I think Yordan Alvarez is still the best hitter in the league, right?
He's second to Ben Rice now.
Okay. But he's actually had a slow week. He ranks 217th amongst hitters.
He had a weird last 2 games of the series. He didn't reach base in 5 plate appearances. 2 in the first game of the Boston series, and then he took 1 walk in the second. He had 1 hit that entire series. 1 walk, 1 hit.
Yeah.
And this is a guy who seems like you can't get him out up until that point.
Listen, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, especially not the Astros, who are now in second to last place. Only 4.5 games back, though. Don't sleep. Don't throw them off the plank yet. It's not over till it's over. The Rangers, though. Rangers are another team that's gone completely under the radar. This whole division is just a little, kind of a snooze fest, to be honest. I mean, anything you got on the Rangers specifically? I guess what I like about the Rangers is Jacob deGrom, who only allowed 1 run in 5 innings. His ERA is down to 2.01, 8th best in MLB. That is Jacob deGrom, who no matter what happens is the best pitcher in MLB. 2.01 ERA for Jacob deGrom. How freaking old is he?
37.
38.
38.
Dude. Oh my God. He's older than Kershaw. I don't think that's true. I think they're like the same age, though. Jacob deGrom is 38. Damn. Still a beast, man. Not a lot of innings on that arm, though, because he's always hurt all the time. But now he's healthy, and he's pitching good for them. Evaldi, 7 scoreless. That's good. He's been extremely bad this year after having like a 1.79 ERA last year. Oh, but Nimmo's hurt now.
He left the game with a hamstring tightness, but he made it back for Friday. I didn't get to see that. You know how he like sprints on every walk?
Yeah.
He did walk on Friday, and I don't know if he sprinted with that hamstring. I wish I could have looked that up.
That would be so funny if he actually pulled his hammy on a walk to first. They've lost 5 of their last 7, still in second place. And nothing really to write home about. I mean, he's been their best hitter, 146 OPS plus for Nimmo. Like that. And then, but Josh Young. I thought Josh Young was a catcher for some reason. He's third baseman. I'm so ignorant, man. I'm so ignorant to the Rangers as a team. I apologize to the Rangers fans, but I just really think that your starters need to step it up because everyone other than deGrom is total shit show. Everyone has an ERA above 4.5 except for deGrom and that starting staff.
He did not sprint to first. It looked like he was about to, the Brendan Nimmo walk, but he did not.
So I think something might be in the air in Texas, man. A lot of hammies being pulled and a lot of bad pitching.
Yesterday was the first like real Rangers game I watched from first pitch to the last pitch. And Jack Leiter for the first 5 innings looked unhittable, untouchable. I thought he was going to strike out like 17 batters. And then he still allowed 5 runs. So maybe that's kind of how it's been going in Texas.
Yeah. So the starting pitching right now, ERA is 19th. The relief pitchers are best in baseball. The relief pitchers, while only striking out, I don't have the number, but they're 28th in the league in Ks per 9. So not a lot of strikeouts and first in ERA. An analytics guy would say that's impossible. But there you go. Best relief corps in baseball. If only they could score some damn runs. They rank 28th in that. Jock Peterson. Moment of silence. Negative 2.2 WAR. Josh Smith, negative 0.2 WAR. A lot of guys who could be hitting better who aren't hitting better. Corey Seager.
They pointed this out on the broadcast yesterday. Corey Seager has always had an OPS plus above like 100. He's all but one of his seasons had an OPS plus above 110. And right now he's at 113, so he's just scraping the line. This might be his worst hitting season of his career. And since he's joined Texas, I mean, his first season, 117 OPS plus, but then 174 OPS plus, 149 OPS plus, 153 OPS plus. This guy's always hit. And right now he's a little underwhelming, I would say.
Something's in the air in Texas. A lot of guys are underperforming. I will say that. I'll keep my eye on you, Texas Rangers. I'll keep my eye on you. Speaking of disappointing teams, the Mariners, man. Sell the team, dude. They beat the Twins 2 out of 3, but then they get swept by the Royals. The Dump Here fan was back. Someone brought but he didn't get dumped on?
Do you remember from last year's playoffs, the guy with the shirt, Dump Here?
Oh, yeah.
And Cal Raleigh hit a homer right at him?
What would you give to get dumped on by the big dumper?
Well, he was back last week in Minnesota.
But he didn't get dumped
He
on.
didn't get a dump. Didn't get the dump.
You're not going to get dumped on every time. Especially not this year with Raleigh, who's kind of not been the Raleigh of last year. Now, can't expect the Raleigh of last year to be there every year, but 86 OPS plus for him this year. Only how many home runs has he got? 7 home runs, so he's still hitting for power. I guess he's turned it on as of late.
Yeah, he is like the only player with 6+ home runs with a OPS plus under 100. It's tough to do.
Don't sleep on the rally. He's rallying late. He's got a 953 OPS since 420. Not too bad. And Josh Naylor also heating up. He hit a bomb in game 2. His OPS is up to 644, but it dropped to 611 by the end of the week. So maybe he's not heating up. Cooling back down. Golly. I hate that they got swept by my Royals, but I love that my Royals swept them. I'm torn, man.
It was a tough series for them too, because you had Emerson Hancock, 14 strikeouts in 7 innings, and they can't get the win.
Yeah, I mean when that starting staff doesn't do well, they're in bad shape. Brandon Wu has allowed 6+ runs in back-to-back starts. Not Wu like, Wu child.
Brian Rue last year had this streak of starts where he went 6 innings every start, and this year he started off really well, but his last 2 starts have been just really bad. 7 runs against the Cardinals, 6 runs against the Royals.
Same with Luis Castillo, right?
I think with Castillo though, he hasn't been as consistent. I mean, across his whole career, and he hasn't been good this year, full stop. But yeah, 6.29 ERA from Castillo.
11th worst in MLB amongst pitchers with at least 3rd innings for Castillo. So I mean, like the bats heated up for them. I mean, Julio Rodriguez is hitting better. Told you Naylor was hitting better. Cal Raleigh's hitting a lot better. Yet the pitchers have gone the opposite direction. I mean, they were on a good streak until this last 3-game series, and 2 of those 3, 2 out of 3 against the Royals were 1-run games. It wasn't like it was a blowout, but they had won 6 of their last 7 going into that. It's a shame.
I feel like Mariners fans, like this has been such a frustrating season. Going back to, I mean, the beginning of the season, they lost a series to the Angels. They got swept by the Rangers, but then they swept the Astros in 4 games. Then they got swept by the Padres. Won a series against the Angels, then lost one against the A's. Swept the Cardinals. And it's just like this back and forth where you think, oh, we're getting hot now, and then you come right back down to
It's
earth.
like, are we good or bad? Pick one. Fucking asshole. Sorry for cursing. Randy Johnson just got his number retired. Now they're serving a 51-inch hot dog.
I got bad news for you.
What?
It was AI.
Fuck, Mitchell. That was your fault. You got AI'd. Oh, I put that in. This guy's a fucking asshole, dude. He let me get AI'd, and he did not correct me until I said it because he knew, oh, I'm going to get his ass.
It was too late to take it out. I've already printed it.
That was in there all week, dude, and you fucking left it in there. I can't wait for him to do the AI thing, dude. You can call me Unk and shit.
No, I looked at this like after the thing was printed, and I was pulling it up so we could have it on the screen. I was like, this kind of looks kind of funny.
I mean, let's see it anyway. You know?
Yeah,
Oh, well.
I have it up. I was like, this kind of looks funny. Randy Johnson here, he's a righty for some reason, and this guy's hand doesn't.
Hey, man, a boy can dream, man. I would love a 51-inch dog in my seat.
It is kind of crazy. Like last year, I don't think AI could create T-Mobile Park like this.
No, it's getting better, man.
This looks a lot like T-Mobile Park.
Next thing you know, there's going to be a 52-inch dog, and we're all going to think, oh, damn, they did it. They did it again. The Cespedes dog.
They should just do like a 4-inch dog. Like that's like plenty of dog, bro.
Well, they did the 999 challenge, and those hot dogs were 4 inches. And you know what the problem was, Jack? People were saying the 999 challenge was too small.
Dude, that was the biggest scam of all time.
Because they didn't even have enough beer to fill up the 9 tiny cups.
Yeah, it's like one beer and a hot dog and a half if you do the math. It's fucking $40.
They stopped selling them in Oracle Park in San Francisco. Some journalist was like, "Hey, I haven't seen it around here," and they started digging in.
Yeah.
And they've been gone.
Dude, I mean, there should be a class action lawsuit against any MLB team that sold that stupid fucking package. I'm getting pissed at that, like the food industry, dude, or any concession stands where they can just like, we'll give you a beer, but it's in a bat and it's $40 because you get the bat, and then and then you buy a fucking bat. It's like we could just sell the same food but make it in a different container, and now it costs 40% more.
I just, in general, you go to a baseball game, Nationals are terrible. And you kind of go there for vibes, and the hot dogs are $7 if you're not there on a Tuesday.
Well, Nats famously have some of the most expensive food in this league, and they don't have the team to justify it. What are you going to do?
I guess it's just the city they're in.
Yep.
Expensive city.
Expensive city. Well-to-do, highly educated, a bunch of me's over there. Rich, young ballers who are ready to spend big bucks on big hot dogs. 51-inch hot dog? I'd spend a lot for that. I had 2 hot dogs for $5 hot dog night. I might have to return and hit 3 next time. But they weren't the best dogs, I'll be honest with you. You go to the Ben's Chili Bowl hot dog place, you get the half dog. What is it called?
The half smoke.
Half smoked. That's a good dog.
The Nationals have different hot dogs, very different hot dogs at very different stations, and they're all the same price.
So where should I get my hot dog then?
I feel like the best hot dogs in Nats Park are from not from the places that have the stalls inside. It's like the freestanding vendors, because they fry them on the grill. And
The freestanding, like guys with the
no, like the little vendors by the seats.
by the seats.
You know,
No. Wait, what is the alternative to that?
like the Grand Slam grill, where they kind of just like mass produce them and put them in under the hot.
Oh yeah, that's
But
bad. Can be bad.
those
though.
are not as
Yeah.
good as the other ones.
But I think the $5 dog night, you're limited. You have to get the ones under
You
the
do.
light. You got ring light dogs, cooking dogs with a ring light. That's all it is. $5. You get what you pay for. Anyway, let's talk about a team that's even worse than a hot dog. Transitions today have been rough, man. I'll be honest, guys. I'll be honest. Not on my A game. The Angels, though, coming in the week, lost 7 out of 8. Oh, they got swept by the Royals. Ooh, 12-17 in fourth place, 3.5 games back at first. Ooh, and then what do? They got even worse. Ooh, got swept by the White Sox, which is not a team you usually like to get swept by, especially if it's.
I don't
after
even think
lost
you need a
7.
caveat.
I know. I got fucked. I said especially I had to come up with something. Especially if you lost 7 out of 8 going into the week, which they did, and they got swept by the White Sox. Yikes! They blew a. It's really the bullpen thing. So they went up 4-0. They blew like 4 games in a row. Now I don't. What happened? So they got swept by the White Sox, and then they lost 1. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Mets. 2 teams who aren't that good, you lost to. They lost 8 of their last 10. And Jordan Romano gets released. So he started the season with a 0 ERA through his first 6 games. Everything looked good for Jordan Romano. Big offseason acquisition for the Angels. We got a new closer, Jordan Romano. Almost won a World Series last year. Wasn't he on the Blue Jays last year?
No.
He was on the team before, motherfucker. It's an easy mistake. Okay?
He had like a 8 ERA with the Phillies last year.
Same shit. But this year he got off a hot start. 6 games, 0 ERA. Then he went a week without pitching, and we don't know what happened during that week, but something bad happened, all right? Because after that, he comes back, and in 5 games, allows 9 runs, had his 27 ERA, and gets shit on. So on Sunday, he enters in the bottom of the 8th. The Angels were losing 8-1. This is last Sunday. So the Angels are down 7 runs, and they put in their closer. Weird, right? Gets the first batter out, then allows a single, double, a walk, allows a 2-run single, and hits a batter. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. They take him out. They don't let him finish the inning. So he gives up a few runs. They're down 10-1. They take him out and put him in a position player. He gets like in a weird, he obviously doesn't want to come out of the game. First of all, he's probably thinking, why'd you put me in the game? We're losing 7 runs. Then he gets a couple runs. Why are you taking me out of the game? Weird. So he doesn't want to get in the game. Now he doesn't want to take it out of the game. Guess what? You're never going to be in the game again. They DFA their closer. So he's gone. And then they had that weird interview with Kurt Suzuki where it looked like he was crying. Did you see that?
I didn't watch the whole interview, but I did see that.
But what was he crying about?
I don't know. It did look like he was crying, though.
Hey, there's no crying in baseball, man. And I didn't come up with that. But that's the truth. So they get rid of the closer. What does the bullpen proceed to do? Give up 5 runs and blow a 4-run lead on Monday. Give up 2 runs and 2 innings pitched on Tuesday. Then Kikuchi gets hurt on Wednesday. The bullpen has to pitch 7 innings. They gave up 3 runs. So the bullpen is completely fucking trashed. From April 21st to April 27th, they have 4 blown saves and a 10.55 ERA. And I didn't track what they did in their series against the Mets, but I'm assuming it wasn't probably great. Granted, they did get to play the Mets, so maybe it was amazing.
So they lost 2 out of 3 to the Mets. It was like the battle for who wants to stay in last place. And I think the Mets had to sweep for them to get out of
they're both
the worst in the league.
Congrats, you both won.
The Angels did walk off on Saturday. Nolan McLean, this is a Mets stat, but the Mets just can't win Nolan McLean starts, and he started that game. So maybe it was a good luck for the Angels. And then they lost 5-1 last night, so no opportunity to blow a save.
They've lost 12 of their last 14 games. However,
they did blow a save on Friday.
Let's go. Mike Trout, though, is still looking good, though. Mike Trout, I think, he's up to a 983 OPS. And I saw Ken Rosenthal wrote a column today talking about
trading him,
drumming up the hype. Can we trade Mike Trout? Is that still a possibility? Because fucking Stephen A. Smith said that 2 weeks ago, and everyone said, Stephen A. Smith, you're the dumbest fucking idiot ever. No one's going to take that contract. But now Rosenthal says it. Okay. Now he might have some legs.
The thing about Trout is I can't see him play for any other team but like the Phillies. Like he seems like he was born to play for the Phillies. Obviously, South Jersey kid. But if the Angels trade him and it's not to the Phillies, I think it would kind of break my brain.
Maybe he goes to the Braves. Yeah, I mean, Mike Trout on any team would break your brain, but I do know exactly what you're saying. You could see him in a Phillies uniform. Same colors, obviously. And
he's always at Eagles games.
Yeah, he's from the area. It makes a lot of sense. I don't know. The Phillies want to get even older?
Maybe if they were better.
It would just feel weird to see Mike Trout on any team other than the Angels. It'd be weird to see Mike Trout on a good team. but we would love to see it. We've been beating that drum forever. Maybe Rosenthal will come on next week and we will talk about the column and we'll get to the bottom of this.
First guest of the year.
First guest of the year. All right, let's move on to the Padres, the Dads. They lost a series to the Cubs. And then they lost another series to the White Sox. So not a great week for them. They had an opportunity to go and surpass the Dodgers, who didn't have a great week, but weren't able to capitalize on it. So what do you got on them?
Yeah, so the whole NL West had a 19-game losing streak?
Yeah, 19 games in a row.
And if you're the Padres and the Dodgers are on a losing streak, that was like a prime opportunity. But they came back against the Cubs in game 1. Mason Miller allowed his first runs of the season.
On some bullshit, though.
Yeah.
We don't need to get into that.
And then, the next 2 games, they lost game 2 by 5 runs, lost game 3. Matt Waldron actually pitched decently, but their bullpen has been really bad lately. I forget the stats, but when I was looking earlier this week, they had the worst bullpen ERA from April 20th to 29th.
That's
at 8.16.
They were the best before that.
They were. And then let me pull the stats for the whole week. They improved a little bit, but over the last week and a half, their bullpen ERA is 6.58, 26th in MLB, after being basically unhittable for the first full month of the year.
Yeah.
Their playoff odds have dropped 10% in the last week, which is the 4th biggest drop in baseball. Tatis still hasn't homered.
That is crazy.
And yeah, losing a series to the White Sox at home is pretty tough.
That's Tatis's former team, if you recall.
They scored 5 runs the entire series.
No bueno, man. The hell? Yeah, the Padres have lost 4 of their last 5. 5 of their last 6. Holy sheets! It's got a negative .6 WAR.
Really?
They don't have a single position player with a WAR over 1. Do I have to repeat that again? Let that sink in. They don't have a single position player with a WAR over 1. Granted, over a 1 WAR at this point is pretty freaking good.
I mean, Jake Cronenworth has been so bad that I think they should consider making him a pitcher again.
Hey.
Jackson Merrill has been really bad. I don't have it currently, but his OPS was down to 600 after the Chicago series. And Jackson Merrill, what did he finish, like 2nd, 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting a few years ago?
Yeah.
And even last year, 112 OPS plus. Very, very bad start.
Did he get complacent after that extension?
It's tough because you look at his expected numbers and they haven't been good either. So
Yeah, looking at all the Padres seasons this year, it's a little shocking how bad pretty much everyone's been as a whole. I mean, if you look at guys who've been playing every day, the only player who really has a respectable OPS is Machado's got a 114 OPS. No, a 107 OPS plus. So that's like average. Now, Xander Bogaerts has got a 113. That's probably better than he has been the past few years. Then it's Miguel Andujar, who leads the team in hitting right now with a 133, but everyone else is struggling. Tatis is a question mark, man. No home runs for Tatis. 1 of 8 players. And I don't have the other 8 players, but they're not Tatis level players.
no, they are like guys like Nasim Nunez and Luis Arias, who you fully expect to be on this no homer leaderboard. And then Tatis.
Yeah, it's weird. You look at the Padres right now, they're in 2nd place, a half game back of the Dodgers. So that's good. You like to be there. They got a 20 and they're 7 games above 500, 20 and 13, which is surprising though, because you look at they're 20th in runs, 21st in starting pitching, and 14th in relief pitching. So really not done well in any category, but still 7 games above 500.
They get to play the Giants next. That could be a great opportunity to get back on track. But with how they're pitching, especially the bullpen has been going, maybe this is the Giants' opportunity to get their offense going.
Yeah, I mean the Giants. We don't forget the Giants beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3. That wasn't that long ago. And Vitello likes it when you count him out. And right now, they're counting Vitello out. after an 0-6 road trip. But this is gonna be back at home? It's over. My prediction is that the Giants will surpass the Padres by the end of the week, which I don't think is possible. That's why it's such a hot take. I don't even think that's possible. It's not possible, but I'm still predicting it because it's that much of a hot take. So wait and see. Let's talk about the D-bags. Lost the series to the Brewers, and their only good player is Vargas, who I will not pronounce his first name out of respect. Do you know it? Ildemaro. This guy's fucking good. Oh, wait, he became a qualified hitter. Congratulations. Leads the league in average, is first in the NL in slugging. Holy moly. Like it. What do you got on the Diamondbacks?
Their pitching has been like catastrophically bad. I was pulling some numbers this weekend, and they had 4 pitchers allow exactly 8 runs. 4 starting pitchers give up exactly 8 runs. And that was on Friday. And then yesterday, I think they had another pitcher, I think it was Merrill Kelly, give up 6 runs.
Well, it was the guys who you didn't expect who were doing good. That was Mike Soroka, who had a great ERA until this last start, I guess. Maybe the last 2 starts. Only good starting pitcher they've had this year is Eduardo Rodriguez.
I think Rodriguez is the only starting pitcher who has not given up, had a game where he allowed 8 runs. Like Gallen did it, Ryan Nelson did it, Soroka did it, Kelly did it.
Even James McCann.
Maybe Gallen didn't. Maybe it was Brennan Pfaadt. But they're just allowing a ton of runs. In the Brewers series, a team that doesn't hit home runs, they had 2 games where they allowed 13 runs.
Yep.
And then you have Ketel Marte is really struggling. So in the last few seasons, the Diamondbacks have had some of the best offenses in baseball, even though they've missed the playoffs. I think it was 2024, they had the most runs scored in all of baseball. And this year, their offense is just kind of mediocre. So they have Vargas, and Corbin Carroll's doing really well.
Holy shit.
But then Marte is just not doing well. His OPS is 629 right now.
They surpassed the Nats and the Astros as the worst starting pitching staff in baseball. They are dead last in ERA right now. Fuck, dude. 7.71 ERA this week with the 6th fewest runs scored. And you go 1-5 with that recipe. No bueno. So they've dropped 14% in their playoff odds.
So yeah, their starting pitching ERA on April 25th. So 2 days before we recorded last week, it was 18th in baseball. They had a 4.39 ERA. And this is for the season. They have a 5.42 ERA. So their ERA rose over a run in just 8 games.
Imagine where they would be without Vargas. Leads the league in batting average and OPS plus 1.5 WAR for the 34-year-old Vargas, who's been in the league for 10 years, and I don't even think he's ever even been a starter.
He's been like the utility player. He's never really done anything offensively.
He's never had an OPS above 712 was his career best. Now he's at a 1,063. Holy moly. Him and Corbin Carroll have been hitting well. Everyone else needs to step it up, man.
The D-backs have the same run differential as the Mets.
Dude. That's what happens when you have the worst pitching staff in the league, man. That's what happens. Still better than the Rockies, though. The Diamondbacks aren't terrible. Their record's fine. What, 2 games under 500?
The D-backs are just 1 game under 500.
One game under 500. If they didn't have the worst starting pitching staff in the league, they'd probably be in a wild card spot right now. But it ain't to be. The Rockies lose a series to the Reds and lose a series to the Braves. They get swept. And it's really sad to be a Rockies fan because I don't have to tell you why. You know that. However, there are some bright spots. Tomoyuki Saganu. He's emerging as one of the best pitchers. 2.84 ERA for Coors. Not too freaking bad. This is a guy who was one of the best pitchers in Japan before he came over. Was like legitimately. He's a little older and he doesn't throw fast, so he doesn't get the hype as some of the other guys like Roki and Yamamoto. Shota, another example. But still, Amazing. He could be a trade piece. And then Mickey Moniak is breaking out. Mickey Moniak, 16-game hitting streak. 10 home runs or 11 home runs, bro. What?
Moniak's been one of the better hitters in baseball.
I'll say he's got 11 bombs. He doesn't have 11 bombs. Is he not qualified?
He's like 2 at-bats or 2 plate appearances shy of being a qualified hitter.
Damn, he's not even qualified. He's got the second most home runs in baseball. Sorry. Third most. Tied for the third.
724 slugging.
Love it. Coors Field. Doesn't hurt. Then you got the Nationals, my favorite team to eat 2 hot dogs at. They beat the Mets. And you were at the, you tell me what happened, Mitchell. I don't fucking know. You were there probably.
I wasn't at the Mets game.
There was at some of these games. They lost to the Brewers.
There was a fun moment during the Mets game where James Wood robbed a homer.
Great
a
Juan
Soto homer. And I don't know, James Wood is a very stoic player. You rarely see him smile, and this was probably the happiest I've seen him ever. You know, he was an all-star last year. Wasn't very happy about it. Robbing a homer from Soto, very happy about it.
Right, some right field crime.
Cade Cavalli, he was the Nationals opening day starter after pitching like 11 career games, and he has had 2 back-to-back 10 strikeout games, which is pretty good. But I mean, overall, I mean, they're the Nationals, so there's just not a lot going on. Their coaching staff is like 33 years old. Their oldest position player is 28 years old. They're still a 4th place team.
Still charging $7 for a hot dog.
Their highest paid pitcher is like getting $7 million a year. There was an article in The Athletic.
Well, that's more than the entire Marlins starting lineup combined.
But there was an article in The Athletic that was basically like the Nationals are such underdog play. They have so many underdog players. Here are all of their jobs that they've worked at since becoming a professional player. And, you know, this was like a retail. Someone worked at Publix. Someone was working at Home Depot. Someone was like a construction worker.
Well, if any of them want to work here, I'm accepting applications from Nationals players. We're right down the street. The Nats right now, 3rd best offense in baseball, though. So don't tell me the Nats aren't the 3rd best.
I still don't understand it. Every day I look at those stats and I'm like, well, surely the Nationals are not still one of the best offenses in baseball. And you go into team stats and you organize it by runs scored, and there they are.
They got James Wood and C.J. Abrams, brother. And those guys have been elite this year. Other than that, though, they got a couple other guys. I mean, they got my man, what's his name? The guy from the Brewers. Weimer.
Curtis Mead's also been pretty good this year.
Curtis Mead, another Australian man. Another Australian man. Okay. All right, Nationals. I like you. Did we talk about the Marlins? Probably not.
I don't think we did.
We talked about their payroll. They beat the freaking Dodgers. 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. 2nd place team, so we can't disrespect them too hard.
Xavier Edwards has the 2nd highest on base percentage in the National League right now.
Only behind Liam Hicks.
Bryce Terang.
Oh.
Liam Hicks, though, he what is he? Yeah, 2nd in RBIs in Major League Baseball.
Okay.
Another catcher there.
Hey, man, when you go on the road and you beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3, you deserve some respect. And they did it.
The double play that Edwards made to end the series was a pretty impressive play. He like ran Ohtani back to the bag. And then as soon as he like tagged Ohtani, he slid his foot across the base. So the runner on 3rd wouldn't have scored.
Heads up.
That was the game tying run.
Damn.
And Edwards very alertly made sure he got Ohtani out before he got Freeman out.
And guess what? They just called up a new catcher.
Oh yeah. The other catcher, Augustine Ramirez, he deleted his Instagram after getting sent down.
Yo. Good call, man. You don't want to hear all that. All the Marlins fans in your DM.
All 15 of them.
He's probably getting killed out there on Instagram. Just wait till Griffin Conine comes back. It's going to be lights out. But Joe Max coming up for the Marlins.
Ooh. Before we go, Tarek Skubal was scratched from the start. The move is seen as precautionary.
Hate to
according
say I
Foul
told you
Territory.
so. Hate to say I told you so. That sucks. I'm pretending like I don't feel proud of myself.
You're a
Yeah,
sick man.
Dude, that sucks, dude. Don't, yeah. Called it baseball genius. I guess I'm not a genius. I guess a lot of people could have put that together. Shaking your arm like that. Yeah, that is scary, dude. I just feel like I don't know. Injuries are hard to like pin down. But I just feel like with the WBC stuff, like there's all this like in their back of your head, oh, I just can't get hurt this year. I can't get hurt this year. I can't get hurt this year. Please don't get hurt this year. Don't get hurt this year. It's like you're gonna get hurt this year. And it's like are you hurt this year? You feel like you're hurt this year. It's like when COVID happened. Remember when COVID happened and then you felt like you had COVID when you didn't have COVID? You're like, is my throat hurt? Can I smell anything? Remember that? You ever like think you're sick when you're not sick?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like and subscribe. Make sure to subscribe and then like, and then anything else you guys want to say?
I feel like I wish, we used to get questions in the comments. We'd answer them at the end of the show. It was a nice way to kind of, go out on something positive. And now all the questions are, what no Astros talk? Or some bullshit like that. But, hey, we used to do
No
that.
video
if you
on
bring it back,
Spotify.
if you guys want to bring it back, we're ready. You just got to ask us fucking relevant questions.
I'm looking at the comments right now. The newest comment, Reds? ?
Reds?
We already answered that.
Yeah, Jack, you're so right. I feel like no Tigers, no Astros,
Right. It's like, go listen.
no love for my Rockies.
Go listen to a Rockies podcast. We're covering the whole fucking
Dude, stop.
the whole sport.
Stop talking shit about the viewers, you fucking ungrateful assholes.
No, you're right. You're right.
You're right. We are very thankful for
Thank
our
you.
listeners, viewers.
I guess we didn't talk about the Astros last week, is what I'm finding out.
I think we did. I think we said something about
No Tigers?
Jordan. We did definitely mention the Tigers because I said something about McGonagall.
What's Mitchell's Twitter? Mitchell, tell me your Twitter.
Minsub4.
It's sub4. Go to Jack's Instagram.
Great comedy. Make sure you watch his reels.
He's on Reels. He's keeping it real on the Reels. And like and subscribe. And that's all we got for today, guys. May the 4th be with you. And also with you.